think everything is set up properly the way it should be. No, not quite. Hold on. Got a problem with the chat there. Filter crop NDS. There we go. Okie dokie. That way the chat is displayed correctly on the stream. And I'm back. Okie dokie. So, Miles Edgeworth, Ace Attorney Investigations 2, as far as I can tell anyway. Yeah, it's the right game, isn't it? I didn't select the first game by accident. Because, yeah, this was never released in English, but this got a fan translation, and this is it. This is the fan translation of the game. So let's start a new game. And, well, the first episode is called Turnabout Target. There it is! We can see it! It's the emissary of peace from the east! The president's private plane is arriving at Gourd Lake. Can you hear it? Cheers of the crowd. Welcome, Zengfa Republic. Welcome, Mr. President. Mr. President, this way please. Your audience awaits. My dear friends, there is a reason for, I don't know what. A few days ago, a smuggling ring that has long plagued my nation was exposed. This was possible thanks to your country's prosecutor's office. From the bottom of my heart, I convey unto them my utmost gratitude. However, the battle is still not over, I declare, here and now. The hammer of justice shall be brought down upon all evil. Yeah, the text is moving automatically, so I kind of have to keep up with it. Hurry, contact the prosecutor's office. We need that man. Miles Edgeworth. If there's anyone who can solve this case, it's him. Here he goes. Yeah, so this game is Miles Edgeworth Investigations 2, which was only released in Japan, but got a fan translation to English, so at least we get to play it in a language that I can understand, and most of you probably can too. Word of this must have reached every corner of the world by now. An assassination attempt on the President of the Republic of Zengfa. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I am a prosecutor. I was asked to investigate this grave incident, but upon my arrival... Mr. Edgeworth! We've been waiting for you, sir! This man is Dick Gumshoe. He's a detective with the local precinct who assists me on all cases under my jurisdiction. What is the President's current condition? I'm still not sure, sir. The paramedics just entered this plane a few moments ago. I see. I hope it's nothing too serious. Very well, detective. Please show me around the crime scene. Roger that, sir. Hey, mister, just a minute. I'm begging ya. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Who is it? What's this? Mister, you're the prosecutor in charge around these parts, right? Can I ask you a little something real quick? Is that a journalist? I'm afraid I must refrain from commenting for now. Let's go, detective. Hey, wait! Mr. Prosecutor! Hold on, Mr. Edgeworth. Wait for me, sir! Now then, detective. Care to fill me in on the details? Basically, the whole thing happened here in Gourd Lake Park. There was a big welcoming event for the President of the Republic of Zengfa. The President of Zengfa, Dijin Wang. As I recall, newspapers and news programs were making quite a deal over his visit. Newspaper article data jotted down in my organizer. It rained a bit, but it stopped just before his plane landed. He came out, and all of a sudden, in the middle of his speech, bang, a gunshot. At least, I think it was. You think? Truth is, I just got here as well, so I don't know all the details, sir. So you were also called here on short notice. Yup, and today was supposed to be my day off. And I was supposed to be at the High Prosecutor's office preparing a case for trial. The Chief Prosecutor asked for you personally, sir. The Chief Prosecutor? Chief Prosecutor was taking part in the welcoming event. Apparently, the chief called out right after the incident occurred. Call Prosecutor Edgeworth. He's the only one who can solve this case, he said. I see. So that's what happened. After the incident, we sealed off the park right away. Which means the assassin is still in the park. Well, assuming he shot from somewhere within the park anyway. An assassin in this crowd. This could get dangerous, sir. If there is another incident, these civilians could get in harm's way. This is a race against time. Let's begin the investigation. First, we investigate the crime scene and gather some information. Precisely. There's no mistaking it. The president was targeted with a gun. Shooting of the president. Even under such tight security, the president was fired at during the speech. This is something I'll have to keep in mind. Detective Gumshoe, where was security at the time of the gunfire? The police were only in charge of guarding the park's perimeter. The president was being protected by his own personal bodyguards. These two guys back there, I guess. It's those guys over there. Why don't you try talking to them, sir? I will most certainly do that. To talk to someone, press the A button while standing near them. Yeah, figures. Mr. Edgeworth, the bodyguards aren't over there. Yes, I know, but I was gonna look around before I talk to them. I didn't expect to be stopped. Mr. Edgeworth, the body... Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'll talk to them then if I can't do anything else before I talk to them. What do you want? You are the president's bodyguards, correct? What was the president's security detail like during the speech? The president had his two best men by his side. The rest were stationed near the stage area. We are professionals. We constantly kept our eyes on the crowd, scanning for any signs of suspicious activity. That probably didn't come from the crowd then. That gunshot. In other words, security was flawless during the president's speech. Well, so they say. I mean, if they were slacking off, they're not about to tell you, I guess. Can you really trust their word on this? Let's keep going. We should talk to the other people and examine anything suspicious, in order to collect the remaining pieces of information from the scene of the crime. I see, so that's how you round up your info. So what do you do with all that info after it's squared away? Someone in the crowd is making quite a ruckus, but I don't have time for that now. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor! Tell me how, please! After gathering some pieces of information, you try to find the connections between them. Detective! Hey now, don't be such a stick in the mud. What's this about finding connections? You connect the two pieces of information that share a link. That's Mr. Edgeworth's specialty. It's called logic, pal. Yeah, right, logic. Press the L button to use logic and the X button to connect my thoughts. I should start by pressing the L button to use logic. Connect the two together. Someone was able to fire a gun under flawless security, and they were able to avoid being spotted by professional bodyguards. This is no easy task. There had to be a certain amount of preparation beforehand. It's very likely that the president's assassination was a premeditated crime. I expected nothing less from Mr. Edgeworth. What brilliant logic, sir! Yes, well, when you follow the facts and find the connection, you will begin to see the truth. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray farther from the truth. But if I think carefully before piecing the leads together, the logic should flow. Yeah, you get a penalty if you don't use logic properly. Okay, let's start by examining everything we can. To examine, I approach anything that looks suspicious and press the A button. Yeah, right. And if I want to consult with Gumshoe, I press the Y button. Yes, sir. Notice anything? The rain. It stopped, sir. It was pouring right up until the president arrived. Even the mist after the rain has cleared up. Were you looking forward to the rain? I plan to go fishing at the lake. Rain gives you a better chance at a big catch, sir. During the president's welcoming event, all regular activities in the park were prohibited. It's not a regular activity. There's no activity more special to me than fishing in the lake. Detective Gumshoe, no court of law would recognize that as a special activity. Even in the midst of such a momentous case, the detective is still his usual self. Yeah, right. Detective Gumshoe, I assume you understand how to conduct an investigation. Of course, sir. The basis of any good investigation is collecting information. Examine suspicious objects. Talk to suspicious people. Press the A button to examine objects and talk to people. Also, each person may have something different to say about the evidence you've collected. You can present evidence from your organizer to the people you're talking to, sir. Press the R button to go over the evidence that I've collected in my organizer, and press the X button when talking with someone to present evidence to them. I've been with you for so long, Mr. Edgeworth. I've pretty much got most of the basics down. And that's pretty much why you still haven't been promoted, detective. Have you found any traces of the assassin? Nope, not at all, sir. No fingerprints or footprints of any kind. It's because everyone's touching everything and walking wherever they want. Detective, don't you think that was a bit out of line? I agree, sir. I'll report it and see that it shows up on its next salary assessment. That's why normally you set up a perimeter around the crime scene so that nobody can walk in and tamper with the evidence, don't you think? Cordon off the area or something. What is he taking pictures of? The hammer of justice shall be brought down upon all evil. It looks like he's reading the speech notes on the floor, sir. Guide to Public Speaking 3. Speak slowly and yell loudly with confidence, it says. I see, so that's how it's done. I guess I'll take another photo. I have an objection to his behavior at work. A gun was fired during the president's speech. I remember when I had to give a speech in grade school. What an awful day. Right in the middle of my speech, an earthquake broke out and shook the classroom, sir. That really is awful. I don't do well with earthquakes myself. Yeah, there is a backstory to this. Huh? Are you listening to me? You're ignoring me, aren't you, sir? This is... What is this? Yeah, I was surprised too. No matter how you look at it, it's definitely what's its name again? The Steel Samurai or something? Oh yeah, there we go. The Steel Samurai, warrior of Neo-Old Tokyo, a hero from a popular TV program. Popular with both children and adults, it has broad appeal. Why would they use a Steel Samurai balloon at welcoming events, sir? Perhaps he was chosen as the hero to represent our country. Isn't it still stuck in the water from the first game in the series, from Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Yeah, right. Poor Steel Samurai balloon. It looks so miserable. Indeed. What did it do to deserve such a fate? According to witnesses, a gunshot was heard when the balloon popped. Did the bullet from the gun hit the Steel Samurai balloon? Burst at the time of the gunshot. Was it hit by the bullet? How was the game, the shooter aiming then? Or maybe the balloon was swaying in the wind, and it was swaying back in the line of fire, maybe, when the gunshot was heard? I don't know. Maybe it was an assassination attempt on the Steel Samurai. To desecrate the Steel Samurai like this. This is a serious crime. Detective, we must not let this reprehensible assassin get away with this. Of course, sir. Steel Samurai balloon. Adorned the right side of the stage. It has ruptured. These flowers were delivered from a foreign country. I don't even know their names. Yeah. My favorite flowers are roses and carnations. Because when I see roses, I think of weddings. And when I see carnations, I think of birthday parties. You're probably just thinking about all of the cake you're allowed to eat. Please don't be so blunt about it, sir. Yeah, that seems to be everything. You can only examine the flowers and the big balloon. No, okay, that I had already inspected. Or maybe I could ask the bodyguards about the balloon. What's the president's condition? We cannot divulge that information to anyone of this country. Hey, don't say that. We want to investigate the plane too, pal. No one shall pass. Oh, I don't think they trust the police here at all. This could develop into an international incident. Time is of the essence. We have no choice but to find the assassin. I can't leave the scene, apparently. Mr. Prosecutor, how's this here investigation coming along? Actually, she may have seen something. She must have witnessed the assassination. Maybe she noticed something. I mean, isn't that their job, journalists, to notice stuff? It's that woman from before. I cannot disclose any details concerning the investigation to the general public. Oh, help a gal out here, Mr. Prosecutor. At this rate, I ain't never gonna face my mentor, Loda. Loda, what was her name again? She was in the original Phoenix Wright game. Loda Hart. Yeah. That name just now sounded familiar. It's probably just my imagination. Nope, it isn't. Is she gonna make a cameo, or is she just gonna be referenced? Mr. Prosecutor, how's this in the... no, okay, so it's the same line of dialogue. Do I have enough to piece together? Ruptured balloon? Nope, they don't go together. Okay. The pieces don't fit together quite right. I need to reconsider the information. No, okay, it's I don't have enough info for now. But I think unless I have to talk to the detective, maybe? Okay, there's another topic here. Gathering information will be the key to solving this case. After you collect enough information, try to find connections between them, sir. Connect the pieces of information that share a link. Yes, that's right. We'll use logic to pursue the truth. Yeah, I know. It's more a tutorial right now than anything else. Alright, I'm looking forward to witnessing some of your amazing logic today, sir. Hey, check this out, my badge. Such a tiny object, I'm surprised you don't lose it. It is an identification badge for us prosecutors, after all. I see, it must be tough. If it were me, I'd definitely lose it, sir. I'm always losing my police badge. Having such a talent for losing things must be tough. Mr. Edgeworth, you're such a joker. Even if you show that to me, I still have no idea what it is, sir. Okay, so that's his default answer when he has nothing to say about something. He proclaimed that quite proudly. What about the balloon? Okay. With so many spin-offs in the Steel Samurai series, it's hard to keep track of all the characters. Yeah, there's the Pink Samurai, there's the... Isn't there the Nickel Samurai or something like that? I can't quite recall now, all of them. There's a lot of spin-offs indeed, reference to the series. The ruptured balloon was made to resemble the original Steel Samurai. Everyone should know that much at least. I didn't know that, sir. Besides, they all have 2 eyes, 1 nose, and 1 mouth. Every human has those exact same attributes as well. Humans don't have silver skin, though. I don't even know how to respond to him anymore. Well, that didn't give me any more to work with, I'm afraid. An apple-red balloon is floating in the soft breeze coming off from the lake. When I was a kid, I used to send letters by balloon. That's when you tie a letter on a balloon and let it float away, hoping you'll find a pen pal. That's an interesting method of communication. Did you acquire any pen pals? Actually, I never found one. I don't even know if my balloons made it out of my backyard, sir. They didn't even get that far. What, is there something else I have to notice about them? Poor Steel Samurai balloon, it looks so miserable indeed. Yeah, blah blah blah. According to witnesses, a gunshot was heard when the balloon popped. Yeah, okay, no, we already knew that. The flowers. Can I have a look at the The stuff on the ground, maybe. No, the papers. Or the plane, maybe. No? Nah, they're not gonna let me in. Starting to be a bit stuck. Yeah, it's the same dialogue again. I need more info. I've already exhausted all the topics of conversation here, so no, okay, this is the same dialogue. The journalist, maybe? Can't I leave the area? Ah, yeah, it's another one of these games where you can't really save the game permanently until it's in between chapters. Come on! I don't see anything that I haven't tried yet. Unless here, maybe there's something I haven't noticed. It's the flag of the Republic of Zengfa. Its symbol appears to be a phoenix motif. Yeah, that I hadn't seen. What is this, sir? Hey, there's a hole in it, actually, yeah. There is an unusual spot on this flag. Compare it to the flag on the opposite side of the stage. There isn't a speck of dirt on it. This flag is spotless, sir. Yes, that is what the flag is supposed to look like. However, there is one spot on this flag that is out of place. The hole in the middle. I didn't notice it until now. What a helpless man. I suppose I should point it out to him. Move the cursor to the unusual spot. Yeah, okay. Right here.
Take that!
There is an unusual hole in this flag. Ah, you're right. Judging from the burn marks around the hole, it appears to be a bullet hole. A bullet hole? Then the bullet from the gun must have gone through the flag. Decorated the right side of the stage has a bullet hole. A flag with a bullet hole. Okay. I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. Now, to calmly use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. The ruptured balloon and the flag with a bullet hole. The bullet must have gone through both, I suppose, if only one gunshot was heard. As a result of the gunshots, there is a bullet hole in the flag and a ruptured balloon. That must mean 2 shots were fired, sir. Well, not necessarily, I would imagine. If we include the shot that hit the president, it's possible that 3 shots were fired in total. Oh, okay. No, it's also possible that the flag and the balloon were punctured by the same bullet. Yeah, that's what I said. If only we could be certain about the number of gunshots. Now then, let's continue the investigation. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor! If you find anything new, could you please let me know? I've been wondering for a while now, but who exactly is that woman? I thought she was just a nosy onlooker, but it looks like she's investigating too. Hey, please, I'm begging ya! In order to figure out how many shots were fired, we'll need to talk to a witness. And she's the only witness left. It can't be helped. Let's try talking to her. Yeah. Ah, Mr. Prosecutor. The name is Nicole Swift. Just between you and me, this case is gonna be my exclusive scoop. Exclusive? Miss Swift, is it? Could you tell me what you witnessed during... So how's your investigation coming along? She's taping the conversation. How so 1990s, and not so much 2011, I should say. You all got a suspect yet? Where'd you get that frilly doohickey around your neck?
Hold it!
Could you please stop talking for a moment? I will be the one asking the questions. What is this? An interrogation? I reckoned I was gonna get myself an interview. I'd like to know how many gunshots were fired. Can you please tell me what you saw? Well, I guess. I ain't telling you nothing. What? My life depends on info. I ain't giving it up that easily. Don't be selfish, pal. Won't you cooperate with us? Selfish? If you ain't gonna share no info with me, then I'ma go get it from elsewhere. Okay. Wait a minute, pal. If I wait, are you gonna give me what I want? If not, adios amigos. She won't budge. We're at a stalemate here. A stalemate? I wonder about that. What do you mean, sir? As you know, chess is one of my hobbies. How does one go on the offensive against a defensive opponent? There are many tactics available on the chessboard. Really? I don't know much about chess. Actually, me neither. Actually, I prefer checkers too, so me and Gumshoe would get along pretty well, I suppose. I can't play chess. Even if it appears to be a flawless defense, there is always an opening. Observe, as I break down her defense with my words. Hang on a second, I'm talking through my nose right here. In order to get her to talk, I'll need to use the right strategy. Using the image of a chess game, I need to stay one step ahead of my opponent. Okay, excuse me. There's a lot of pollen in the air at the moment. Okay. I'm good to go. Now then, let's analyze the situation. Until you give me some info. My trap seal's shut. She has her guard up. So, this is her defensive strategy. If I waste too much time, she may grow impatient. I need to pay attention to the time limit. Oh. I must not be careless with my words. When my opponent becomes agitated or aggressive. I told ya I ain't talking. You're stubborn as a mule. For example, during times like this, I should calmly wait and see how things play out. The moment my opponent shows an opening, I'll be able to strike. First, I should ask about her identity. Now, let us begin. This is new. That wasn't in the first game, Nat. Your occupation. First, could you tell me about your occupation? No way. If I told ya, then you might get the wrong idea. The wrong idea? In other words, it's a job that you cannot tell others about. I never said that. I ain't some kind of suspicious person. Haven't you realized it yet? I have you cornered. Huh? What's going on with you? I don't get what you're saying at all. Okay, that was wrong. That was a needless statement. Ouch! When the opponent is agitated, I must calmly wait and see. Yeah, okay. Okay, I get it now. Okay, yeah, so we've already been there. Wait and see. I'm just your run-of-the-mill model citizen. Please excuse my rudeness, I did not mean to offend you. I may not know the details of your job, but I'm sure that it is a reputable one. Well, you might be giving me too much credit there. I ain't even done any major articles yet. There's an opening. An article job? I heard you mention articles just now. Does your job involve writing articles by any chance? Dang, a bit. Okay. That's right. I'm an investigative reporter. Bona fide, up-and-coming news journalist. I see, a reporter. She may already have some information about the case. This will be my next line of questioning. This is where the real battle begins. I'll need to draw out even more information from her. Did you witness the incident? Were you present at the time of the incident occurred? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, how about some of that info you promised me? No, ladies first, I insist. I told you my trap's sealed shut, you ain't getting my info that easily. Okay, she's riled up, so I should wait and see. This is my livelihood here, please, I'm begging ya. If you stick your head in too deep, you may be putting yourself in danger. I'm a pro after all. A few gunshots. Don't scare me. You heard gunshots? Hey, I'll admit, you're dedicated to your job. However, you still have much to learn. The fact that you heard the gunshots clearly means that you were present during the incident. You must have seen something. That was not enough. Bust it again. I just happened to be here covering the speech, and that's when it all went south. That's all, I swear. I ain't saying another word. So she was here to write an article about the speech. She should still have the materials she gathered for her article. Like a recording on her tape machine. This could be a useful clue. Content of your coverage. Yeah, there we go. You said that you are a reporter. Did you come here to gather news material? If you want to know that bad, give me some info first. No, you first. Show me what you've gathered. Honest to Betsy, I don't know what you're talking about. Let me try using that clue. Are you telling me that you came here to gather material and you left empty-handed? You still have the materials you collected with you. That's darn tootin', I'm a pro. I collect info with my own 2 feet. That's why I ain't giving it up without a fight. As the prosecutor in charge of this case, I am making a serious plea for your cooperation. Don't you mess with me, I ain't handed it over and that's final. She's riled up, so wait and see. Please understand where I'm coming from, Mr. Prosecutor. Being a reporter is a tough job, isn't it? Ah, so you're finally getting it. How has your job performance been? Well, I'm always trying to be the best reporter I can be. This here tape recorder, I always carry it by my side. Let me listen to the tape. I see. If you're trying to be the best reporter that you can be, then it would be unnatural for you not to have collected any news materials. You recorded it on your tape recorder, didn't you? The information regarding this case. Ah, doggone it! There goes my exclusive scoop. That's right. I have it on my tape recorder. All the information I recorded for my articles is right here. Checkmate. Okay, so there's that thing then now. I guess it's not so different from trying to undo the locks, the side key locks on the characters. Like I think the previous game still had them from the Phoenix Wright franchise. That's amazing, Mr. Prosecutor. Before I knew it, Yadan had me chattering like a chipmunk. Let me hear what you have on the tape recorder. If I listen to the tape, I should be able to determine the exact number of gunshots. Fine, but I won't let you have it for free. Other than my mentor, you're the only person to push me this far. In other words, you're gonna be my second mentor. Yup, that's how it's gonna be. I see, it's kind of like a second home, sir. And I got one more request. A 24-hour exclusive interview. Please, Mr. Prosecutor, this is my first and final request as your apprentice. This is difficult to accept, but unless I agree to it, I won't be able to listen to the tape. 24 hours is out of the question, but I will grant you an interview after we solve this case. Oh, what about being my second mentor? Also out of the question. Oh, don't be so ornery. Well, I guess you take what you get. It's all for the sake of my news scoop. Time to get the ball rolling. Let's begin our exclusive coverage. Well then, Miss Swift. Please begin the playback of the tape recorder for me. My dear friends, there is a reason for my visit. A few days ago, a smuggling ring that has long plagued my nation was exposed and crushed. I see. This was the president's speech. The president passionately addresses the crowd. He's deflating the rumors flying around about the recent decline in his approval ratings. This was my own commentary. I tried to create the feeling of actually being there. According to the schedule, there's a meeting after this. There's a meeting after this? You seem quite pleased that the Yatakarasu incident has been resolved. That was something in the previous game, I think, if I remember correctly. That was a thief ring or something like that, wasn't it? Well, of course, it's a great horror for us as well. Whose voice is this? Those are from the folks standing in front of me. I reckon it was two older men. They kept on whispering to each other. Where have I heard this voice before? Oh, the gunshot's coming up. The president raises his fist in the air. The atmosphere is boiling to a fever pitch. However, the battle is still not over. I declare here and now, the hammer of justice shall be brought down upon all evil. 2 gunshots. What in tarnation? Whoa, 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 whoa. Contains a recording of the speech. 2 gunshots can be heard, though touch the check button for details. Nicole's tape recorder data jotted down in my organizer. Okay. It seems that 2 shots were fired. And what do you reckon? It's quite simple, really. Using the bullet's trajectory, we can deduce its flight path. 2 shots were fired. 1 bullet hit the president. That means the other shot left a hole in the flag and punctured the balloon. Do you understand now the location of the perpetrator who fired the gun? The bullet that struck both the flag and the balloon was fired from here. I'd say somewhere around here. No. For it to have hit both here?
Take that!
Over here, that's right. The perpetrator definitely fired his gun from here. Would them bullets really hit their mark from there? It's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about here, pal. I'm sure he has amazing logic to back it up. And when it's all said and done, he'll show you another one of his brilliant deductions. I'm looking forward to it myself. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. Do your thing. Oh, wait a second. Let me think. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, don't push yourself too hard now. Yeah, okay, that was wrong. This isn't the right spot. 2 shots were fired. Certain of it. Both the flag and the balloon, it says. Well, I don't know. From here? Not quite. Ah, crap. What did I do? Hold on, I'm gonna save because I keep making mistakes. For the bullet to pierce both, it has to be in a straight line. Or from here? Not in the crowd, in front of the crowd? No, that's wrong again. Oh, come on. Oh, okay, I got it. Okay, hold on. Let me reload. So here then,
Take that.
in the crowd. By connecting the bullet marks from the flag and the balloon, we learned the bullet's trajectory. It's likely that the bullet was fired from the left side of the audience area. Bullet's trajectory. Judging from the bullet holes, the shooter probably stood on the left side of the audience area. But that doesn't make sense. How would he miss his first shot by so much? Just what I'd expect from Mr. Edgeworth. Detective Gumshoe, I would like to investigate the left side of the audience area. Yes, sir. Wait, you mean we have to move all these people? Yes, there's no time. We could be losing vital evidence for every second we let slip by. We must hurry. Yes, sir. Mentor number 2. Hey, mentor number 2. Miss Swift, I assume you are addressing me? Of course. Mentor number 2, this is my time to shine. I'm an expert at crowd dispersal. Light the torches, release the hounds, and run them down. I appreciate your help, but please do not use those methods. Also, please stop addressing me as your mentor. I never agreed to that position. I hear ya. I'll try to keep that in mind, mentor. I mean, Mr. Prosecutor. Pardon me. Mr. Edgeworth, we're ready to begin the investigation, sir. Miss Swift here was all over the crowd helping us round them up, sir. This ain't nothing compared to my first mentor's mob wrangling skills. She seems to be used to this sort of thing. However, Miss Swift, all that running around seems to have caused your clothes to be covered with mud. I'll take care of the cleaning bill, if you like. Hey? Oh, you're talking about my parka? Don't you worry your fancy little head about it. It's reversible, so I can just flip it around later and it's good as new. That won't do much for mud stains, though. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, let's restart the investigation, sir. The crowd has made a mess of the crime scene. I hope some traces of the criminal are still left behind. Hey, I know you. Mr. Payne. This is a terrible incident indeed, Mr. Edgeworth. Who is this man again? He's another prosecutor, isn't he, Mr. Payne? Winston Payne, yeah. Hi, Winston Payne. I'm willing to assist as a prosecutor. He's a prosecutor? Why did you come here today? I accompany the chief prosecutor. His voice sounds like the one that I heard on the tape earlier. Was he one of the men standing in front of Miss Swift? And where is the chief now? Chief is a busy man. He had special permission to leave the premises. The chief called me here and then left by himself. I'm not completely satisfied with this. This is a terrible incident indeed, Mr. Edgeworth. No, okay, no, this is the same dialogue. No, okay. I thought I could show him the tape. Okay, there's a transcript of the conversation. Shrill old man. According to the schedule, there's a meeting after this. Another old man. You seem quite pleased that the Yatakarasu incident has been resolved. I guess the shrill old man would be him. Because his voice when he says objection in the other game is quite shrill indeed. You are with the television crew, are you not? Oh, that's right, but then you must have recorded the speech. I'd like to see the footage. Yeah, about that. That will be difficult. What was that, pal? It's your duty as a citizen to cooperate with the investigation. After the incident, the guests knocked over the TV camera in the panic. All the footage was lost. How convenient. If there was any footage left, it could have been vital evidence. Yeah, it's too bad, sir. Oh, who's that? What was that? Looks like you're in a jam, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, is it gonna be Emma Sky, maybe? That voice. Ah, no, it's not. It's Kay. Long time no see, Mr. Edgeworth, the hero of justice. Kay Faraday is here to save the day. Hero. I guess she wouldn't refer to herself as a heroine. So have you given up on this great thief business yet? Nope, I haven't stopped. I'm just on vacation. I'm still in training to become the second Yatakarasu. About 2 weeks ago, this girl became involved in one of my cases. Oh, so it takes place 2 weeks after the end of the first game then. The mysterious phantom thief, the Yatakarasu. The case of a gentleman thief who steals the truth for the sake of justice. This girl is the successor to that great thief. If you need to pick a lock or untie a rope, leave it to me. But since I'm still in training, I haven't actually stolen anything yet. Kay, what are you doing here? Isn't it obvious? I wanted to join in the festivities. She does seem to have a fondness for these kind of events. Afterwards, I thought I'd come meet up with you guys. Well, we're glad to see you. You look like you've been doing well, pal. It's been a while, Gummy. I'm glad you're well too. Oh yeah, I forgot she calls him Gummy for whatever reason. When was it that I streamed the first game, actually? Must be about 6 months ago, I think. So I've already forgotten a bit about all the details of that story, I'm afraid. Kay, you said earlier that you could help me out. Hehe, please don't be surprised, Mr. Edgeworth. I took a photo that captures the exact moment of the crime. I see. Could you show it to us at once? The same as usual, I see. Can't you act even a little surprised? Yeah, that prosecutor is always in a sour mood. He even got annoyed when I called him in my second mentor. Oh, by the way, I'm Nicole Swift, up-and-coming investigative reporter. Nice to meet you, Nicole. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth is really... Enough idle chatter. Can you please just show us the photo? Fine, here. This is a photo I took right at the moment of the gunshot. Was he shot in the head? Is that blood on his forehead, maybe? And what are they holding? Is that an open suitcase, or is that supposed to be a shield against bullets or something? It was awful. Everyone in the audience was running in panic. This photo depicts the president and his 2 bodyguards. What is this? Thank you, Kay. This will be a very important clue. Oh, you got that sharp look in your eyes. Did you find something, Mr. Prosecutor? In this photo, there is a contradiction. It doesn't seem to be the same 2 bodyguards that I interrogated before. If you don't understand, then I'll show you. The scene captured in the photo and the evidence I have on hand. By comparing the 2, I'll find the contradiction. It's time for my deductive skills to come into play. First, I have to find the spot that holds the contradiction. I'm not quite sure what he's referring to. Let me save before I do anything else. Once I found the contradiction, I press the X button with conviction. Then I present the evidence that contradicts the spot. What, the trajectory of the bullet? I don't know. What, this one? Because there's a picture of the president on it. Miss Swift, this newspaper contains a photograph of the president. I'd like you to compare it with the photo Kay took at the scene. What do you mean? Oh, that's right. There's something on the president's forehead that wasn't there before. Well, a hole, I guess. If he was shot in the head, is that a mole? It certainly looks like a red mole. Is it? I thought it was the... Wasn't he shot in the head? That's foolish. It's hard to believe that a mole would pop out of thin air like that. Maybe a bug bit him, sir. That all? I thought you were onto something. Turns out it's just an itty-bitty bug bite. Well, they said he was shot at, and that he is inside the plane, and they were asking about his condition. If he was really dead, they wouldn't be asking about his condition, so I guess he's not dead, so he can't have been shot in the head. So it must be something else then. Is it possible that what was used to shoot him was like a paintball bullet maybe or something? Maybe it was paintball. It wasn't actually shot using an actual bullet maybe. And if that's the case, maybe we could find some paint traces on the flag as well. You were talking with such a serious look on your face. I was getting all excited. The way to the truth. You gotta go? Okay. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for dropping by and for the follow, Zeniel. Oh, that's a great way of putting it. I'll be using that for my article. Case camera data, jot it down in my organizer. Is there any way to recover the lost footage? Yeah, about that will be difficult. Couldn't you just repair the footage piece by piece? But the tape was crushed to pieces. Crushed to pieces? That's right. The guests in the audience were stepping all over the tape. Alright, the director's gonna kill me. It is a news van for the local media. The tires are stuck in the mud. That reminds me of the time when I helped push your car out of the mud, sir. You just drove off and left me behind. I was totally bummed out. Now that he mentions it, I do seem to recall something like that happening. But 15 minutes later, you did a U-turn and came back to pick me up as expected of Mr. Hedgeworth. I knew that you wouldn't forget about me, sir. Yes, of course not, except for those 15 minutes, of course. Y'all need to go through the garbage? You prosecutors got a tough job. Detective Gumshoe. Right away, sir. Yeah, obviously he's not gonna do it himself. He's not gonna soil his hands. So it's the detective's job to go through the trash. Prosecutors don't want to dirty their hands. Yeah, right. Especially this one. Let's see. I hope I find something good. The detective seems to be a little too eager about searching through the trash. This is a winning popsicle stick. Detective. Sorry, sir. Let's see. Something related to the case. Look what I found, sir. Yes, good work. Let's have a closer look. I'll need to view this object from various angles to uncover the truth hidden within. Yes, sir. Just give me the word and I'll spin the evidence round and round. Hold the R button and use the D-pad to rotate the object to a desired viewing angle. If you want to zoom in or out, I'll move the evidence for you, sir. Press the X button to zoom in and the Y button to zoom out. Okay. If you find something suspicious, please let us know immediately, sir. Move the cursor to a spot of interest and press the A button to investigate it. Alright, let's give it a try. And there's a gun inside, isn't there? It's a document of some sort. It's really tiny, though. What's that? Pay extra attention to the lake. Let's see, President Security Detail. These are the plans for the President's security, sir. Oh, okay, yeah, it's easier to read now. Rook takes Knightley's place. In the case of an emergency, Knightley will lead the President inside the plane. A terrorist in the audience? We can't be certain there isn't one. Leader Rook, Lieutenant Knightley, March 24th. The bodyguards' names are written on here too. Rook and Knightley. Those two guys from the photo, sir. The bodyguards are not from the Republic of Zengfa. It seems that the president hired the local security firm. Why didn't he use the police force of Zengfa? You wanna know the reason? That's another big scoop. Do you know something about it? That sort of a sponsor that she has on her jacket, High Fly. I think that was wasn't it the flight company from the first game? High Fly. I think it was. I was just at the Zengfa embassy the other day fixing to get me some news material. That's when I heard. It sounds like the president's got plenty of enemies. He also don't get along too well with the top brass of the Zengfa police. Oh, isn't it that guy from the first game? The guy from the Zengfa police. The guy with blonde hair that keeps saying "Aya" all the time. I see he doesn't even trust the people of his own country. This could be related to the assassination attempt. Security plan. Shows the bodyguard's position. Top secret information. Touch the check button for details. But why would this document be in the bag? And why would the bag be in the trash can? That is strange indeed. It concerns the safety of the president. Normally, it would be under tight security. This bag. There's something else in it, sir. This is... It's a gun, sir. Mr. Edgeworth, could this bag have belonged to the... Indeed, it is possible that the assassin may have thrown it away. It's a revolver. For something like this to appear in a place like this. 6-shot revolver, found in the trash near the audience area. A gun that is prohibited in this country. I don't see what makes it so different that this one should be prohibited and others would not. Is this the work of a professional assassin? You must have used that document to carry out the crime, sir. Is it the killer? The guy from the Phoenix Wright series? The professional assassin? This revolver, I will need to take a closer look at it. This would be the grip. I've held the grip of several guns in the past, but it's never been a very pleasant feeling. Ah, okay, I can see how many bullets are left. Aw, come on! Or what, do you want me to pull on this thing to open the barrel? There we go. This gun fired 2 bullets. That matches the number of gunshots heard. This must be the murder weapon, sir. You're saying murder like he was dead already. Is he dead or is he not? Ah, it was a laser pointer on his forehead. In the picture. This is a laser pointer. It's an implement you attach to a gun to help you aim with a laser, sir. Just press here and it's firing a red laser, sir. Did the assassin use this laser pointer to target the president? Still, there's something about that laser pointer. I think it's a good time to go over the pieces of information that I have collected. Revolver data jotted down in my organizer. Yeah, let's go over it with logic. This bag has provided us with lots of useful evidence. Dumpster diving really paid off, sir. Good work, detective. I have one more request. Please tell the forensics team to check the gun and the bag for fingerprints. Yes, sir. If we can obtain fingerprints, it would be a huge breakthrough in our investigation. I've got the results back, sir. That was fast. Of course, I made them double time it. Unfortunately, we couldn't find any fingerprints, sir. Well, of course, that would make identifying fingerprints a lot faster if none were found. Obviously, the results would be quite quick. Are you certain you did a thorough search? Of course, we combed every inch. We even took out the bullets and examined them, sir. No fingerprints even on the bullet cases, I guess. As expected, this won't be easy. the laser pointer, and the so-called red mole. I've solved the mystery of the red mole. Eh? You mean it's not a bug bite, sir? It's nothing like a bug bite or an itchy rash. This is a light from a laser pointer. You mean a gun was aimed at the president's forehead? And right after that, the second gunshot was heard. That's certainly more than just an itch, sir. Indeed, I'm concerned for the president's well-being. It's become more and more likely that this gun was the weapon used in the attack. Assassin's revolver data updated in my organizer. Okay. But why did the criminal use a laser pointer, sir? That's right. They would have had a beam of light shining from their hands. Pew, 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 pew. Way too conspicuous. And if you follow the path of the laser, you will find out who fired the shot. That's not good at all. Oh yeah, I also took some other photos. Maybe the light from the laser pointer was captured on those. I don't think it works that way. Unless there was smoke or something, you wouldn't see the laser, right? The beam itself, I mean. It's a long shot, but there may be a chance. Kay, could you show us those photos? Coming right up. Firstly, the photo from before the incident. Wait, are they digital pictures, or did she have them developed or something? I mean, by 2011, there were already a lot of, well, even phones, I guess, had a camera by then. Cute K, hi Quilix. I wanted to get a two-shot of me and the president. This was taken a little before the gunshots. Well, I see no... Oh, yes, I do see a laser here. And here's the one I showed you before. This was right after the first gunshot. And immediately after that, the second gunshot rang out. And then... What is this? You can't really see much in this photo. After that last photo, one of the running guests knocked me down. It looks like the shutter clicked just then. This doesn't look too helpful, pal. Well, those were all the photos I took. Case camera data. 3 photos from before, during, and after the incident. Touch the check button for details. Okay. I'd like to examine these in a bit more detail. Investigate which photo. This one. I'm done. No, not really, because the tougher stuff was already out of the way by then. It's mostly the boss that I did the other day that took forever, and then... what was the one I did yesterday, that other cave? Well, no, because I guess that one wasn't too hard either, so... No, it was okay. It was okay. It was pretty straightforward. Lasted an hour and a half, maybe? Because I still had to go back and make some more purple pigment to get the last piece of treasure, so that took some time. Where can the light from the laser pointer be seen? Right here.
Take that!
I found it! What? Look just in front of this person in the red hood. Ah, there! Yes, that's probably the light from the laser pointer. Then, that red hooded person would be the assassin. We did it! It's all thanks to me, right? Right. As expected, the great thief has stolen the truth. Perhaps the criminal can also be seen in the other photos. Let me examine these photos one more time. Well, he wouldn't be seen at the moment of the incident, I guess, yet. It's none of these guys. Well, there's someone wearing red right there, but is that him or her? Could be.
Take that!
Ah, there. The red hooded assassin. Looks like they're escaping in the panic, sir. We can see the direction they ran in. Ah, the samurai dog banner. Right, the assassin escaped towards the right side of the audience area. Detective Gumshoe. Got it, sir. We'll investigate the right side of the audience area. I'm counting on you. The red-hooded assassin. Since the park was sealed off, there's nowhere they could have run to. If we follow their trail, we'll definitely catch them. Well, they could have gotten rid of the Red Hood, because this is the only way the only thing we have that and identifies the person. So they could have gotten rid of the Red Hood as well, I guess. Now then, let's continue with the investigation. We'll definitely find some traces of the assassin. Target practice? The flag from the shooting booth is lying on the ground. The crowd probably knocked it over. Judging from all the footprints on the flag, there must have been quite a panic. Do you know where you can buy these flags, sir? Why do you want to know? Are you going to write gumshoe on the flag and carry it around with you? Yeah, how did you know, sir? Don't tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, did you just read my mind, sir? I meant it as a joke, though, for him to actually have thought that. There are toy rifles lined up neatly on the top of the counter. Oh, it's a shooting booth, sir. I hate to brag, but I'm actually pretty good at these. I thought you said that you weren't good with guns. It's not that I'm not good with them. I just don't like guns, sir. Normally, that's what you would call not being good with guns. It's a red button, sir. Could this be found near the stand? But in the picture we saw earlier, he had a zipper on his red hoodie, not buttons. This could be related to the person in the red hood. I don't know. The last picture we saw, I definitely saw a zipper and not buttons, but anyway. There's nothing of interest here. There's something red poking out from under the booth. It is a cheap-looking food stall made out of plywood. They're selling samurai dogs. Mr. Edgeworth, I've got $2, sir. Am I imagining things, or are you suggesting we take a snack break during our investigation? Of course not, sir. I just thought, it could help us with our investigation. I'll buy you a box when we're finished with the investigation. I'm sorry, sir. What? What's with that look on your face? Is there a problem? No. That was just unexpected, sir. There's something red down there. Is that gumshoe? Please, check underneath the food stall. Something stuck down here. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely a zipper. But there's buttons on the cuffs of the hood, I guess. The hoodie. Red raincoat. Could this be the assassin's? It appears that he got rid of his raincoat before he ran away. Discarded by the red-hooded figure found underneath the samurai dog stand. Well, I guess if we were to try to identify the person amongst the crowd right now, it would be the only person who seems to have dry clothes. The other people would still be wearing the things that they were wearing during the rain, so, oh, you will be off? Oh, okay. Okie dokie, Quillix. Have a good one. We'll go to a dinner soon with family. Sounds good. Have something good to eat then. The left sleeve, there doesn't appear to be anything out of place. Yeah, thanks. I sure will. Well, I love these games, so I'm pretty sure this one will be good too. Thanks, Quillix. It's not turned inside out, and the button is still tightly in place. Okay, so I have to check out the other then. Even though it was thrown away, it looks a bit too clean. This sleeve, it's inside out. It's also missing a button. The right sleeve, it's turned inside out, and a button is missing. I'd say that's about everything. It looks like the fallen button came from the raincoat. It probably fell off when the assassin took out the raincoat. If you look closely, you can see that the right sleeve is inside out, sir. It appears they took it off in a hurry. The button was probably torn off. After shooting the president, the assassin disposed of the gun and the bag in the garbage bin. Then, during the panic, they moved from the left to the right side of the audience area. The bullet's trajectory led us to suspect someone who was on the left side of the audience area. The assassin then took off the raincoat and hid it under the stand. The assassin was in a hurry to remove the raincoat. That's why there are signs that the right sleeve was hastily removed. It also explains why the button was torn off. If that's the case, why is the left sleeve not in the same state? Good question. Why indeed? That sleeve isn't inside out. On the contrary, the button is still tightly fixed. What do you mean, sir? To find the answer, hold on. If you were trying to remove a raincoat really quick, you would take off one sleeve first, I guess, and this one would get inside out, and then when you remove the second one with your free hand, you can take it off your arm like this. So the sleeve that's inside out is the first one that was removed, and if it's the... I don't know. How do you remove a jacket when you're wearing one? I guess this has something to do with that, maybe? Maybe that tells you if the killer was left-handed or right-handed? The right sleeve is turned inside out, and you can see where the button's been torn off. Indeed, the raincoat must have been removed in a hurry. I'd like to investigate the inside of this raincoat. Detective Gumshoe, got it. Because he was hurt? Is that blood? This is a blood stain. Judging by the location, this is most likely the assassin's own blood. So we're looking for someone who's injured, sir. Not just any injury, detective. An injury on their left arm. What do you mean, sir? The criminal was in a hurry to take off their coat. That's why the right sleeve is inside out. On the other hand, the left sleeve remained unchanged. How did this difference arise? Quite simply, the assassin couldn't get his arm through the left sleeve. If you think of it like that, it all starts to add up. Furthermore, a blood stain was found on the left side of the raincoat. I see, he couldn't get his injured arm to fit through the sleeve. Yes, indeed. I'd say the possibility is quite high. The inside is stained with blood. The red hooded figure's left arm is injured. It's all coming together. Detective Gumshoe, I want you to pull our assassin out of the crowd. Someone with an injured left arm, right? You must have a good head on your shoulders if you did see through me, Mr. Prosecutor. Finding the assassin with only that much evidence shouldn't be a problem at all. That's our Edgeworth. With everyone in the park sealed in, the assassin should still be within the crowd. I'm counting on you, Detective Gumshoe. Mr. Edgeworth, we found a suspicious person in that condition, sir. That's gotta be the assassin. Okay, we haven't proven that this person is the assassin yet. For now, this is just a person of interest. Don't jump to conclusions. Got it, I'll control myself. There's no doubt that this is the guy who targeted the president, sir. It takes a daring person to target someone's life in front of an audience. Detective, bring him here, courteously. What I can't tell right now, I can't tell yet, is whether the person was already injured before, or did that person get shot while they were, Well, I guess there would be a hole in the jacket that they would have noticed it. So, that was probably an injury from before. Ah, the killer. Hi. Shelly? Shelly the killer? I think it is. He's not carrying an umbrella and his left arm is bandaged. You there, state your name. My name is John Doe. Nope, it isn't. That's an unusual name. That is correct. This man, have I seen him somewhere before? Prosecutor Edgeworth, you know my name? Yes, I have been observing your investigation. May I ask why you have called me here? We are searching for the assassin who attempted to murder the president. Do you recognize this red raincoat? I'm terribly sorry, but I'm afraid I do not. I believe that this raincoat belongs to the assassin. Oh my, that is terrible. Wait. Is this ice cream ball wearing a sherry as a monocle? And has like a slightly smaller cone for a nose or something? It's a bit weird. This person should also have a severe injury on the left side of their body. Precisely like yours. I have no relation to this. A stare down. Mano a mano. It's like they're firing laser beams out of their eyes. So, what happens next? Obviously a confrontation, pal. A battle of wits between two gentlemen. Should I hear his explanation? I guess. And debunk it? Hold on a minute. The problem with these games, with lots of reading out loud, is that my throat gets dry and sore pretty quickly. And at the moment, I can't really afford having my throat going sore or anything like that, so here we go. Witness might lie or misunderstand. If you find a contradiction in their statement, you present evidence, pal. Well, okay, I guess if it's tutorial heavy stuff, I don't have to read it out loud. America's best, huh? When it's supposed to take place in Japan. Mr. Doe's testimony. I understand that the person in the raincoat is suspicious. However, that doesn't mean that he was injured. I don't suppose you have proof. Clearly my left arm is injured, but I can still use my right arm. When it was raining, I used an umbrella. I have no need for a raincoat. You didn't wear a raincoat, that's your claim. Yes, not everyone uses a raincoat for protection against the rain. I am an umbrella person after all. I'm definitely a raincoat person. Umbrellas will hinder your movement. Well, I don't use raincoats or umbrellas. Come rain or snow, all I need is my trusty parka. This wasn't what I wanted to talk about. I hope you understand, I am not the assassin. Unfortunately, leaving a testimony unexamined goes against my principles. How troublesome. I am but a simple ice cream salesman. Heh. I don't think you can get rid of blood that easily. Please excuse me, in the panic earlier my wound seems to have reopened. There's no mistaking that the owner of this raincoat is the assassin. Furthermore, the owner has an injured left arm. Mr. Doe, I shall reveal your true colors for all to see. think I already know what I have to do. Yeah, you present the thing. There's a blood stain. Mr. Doe, you seem to be a very cautious person. However, today seems to be different. Because you left this behind. You must be mistaken. That does not belong to me. Or perhaps you have evidence that proves otherwise. Mr. Doe, is your injury alright? The wound seems to have opened. Indeed it is. Quite troublesome. I'm sure it is. You have my deepest sympathies. After all, you would have escaped had your wounds not opened up. What do you mean? There is no mistaking that the one who wore this raincoat was injured, and I can prove that person was you. With this. On the inside of this raincoat, there is a small blood stain. It's the blood of the assassin. A simple blood test would prove it anyway. Attacking the president is a serious crime, pal. You'll cause an international incident. No matter how long you keep silent, your true nature will soon come to light. A blood test will settle this. The blood from the raincoat and the blood from your bandaged arm. I have all the evidence I need. Why don't you just admit it? You're the assassin who attacked the president. I am not the assassin. You don't know when to give up. If this was a game of chess, you would have been checkmated a long time ago. Admit your defeat gracefully. It seems completely unfazed. I suppose I have no choice, I'll admit it. Indeed, the raincoat is mine. He confessed, sir. Arrest him! Arrest him! However, that does not mean I shot the president. What's that, pal? Prosecutor Edgeworth. All you have proven is that I wore the raincoat. What sort of crime is that? Well, the other piece of evidence is the picture that Kay took. All I did was put on that raincoat and listen to the president's speech. It surprised me to see the bodyguards take action just before the gunshot rang out. Everyone in the audience immediately tried to escape, creating a state of panic. He says one gunshot and not two. This is a bit weird as well. The story's getting fishier by the minute. Is really suspicious. Glaring at me won't help. We've got evidence. Here, look at this guy in the red raincoat. That's gotta be the assassin. I see. That is certainly not me. What? Prosecutor Edgeworth, please consider this carefully. Was I really the only one who wore a red raincoat? Whether he was or not, the person in the photo can only be Mr. Doe. But why? This man's self-confidence and intensity. Let me save. He says gunshot in the singular. No. Okay, well, they don't seem to... There is a contradiction, but maybe this is not what I'm supposed to find. And besides, when it's fan translated like this, there might be some things that slip in that were not in the original. Some unintended mistakes on the in the testimony. Maybe I should press.
Hold it.
He uses the singular here too. So the bodyguards reacted before the gunshot went off. The bodyguards moved first? The one on the left side of the stage, in particular. You saw it all quite clearly. From where? Where were you? The names are written on the upper left of the security plan. The bodyguard on the left side would be Mr. Rook. That is correct. And Mr. Ethan Rook, I believe. How would he know that? If they're not his regular, usual bodyguards, but they were hired locally, how would he know that? Perhaps he noticed the light from the laser pointer. That man is no ordinary individual. From their actions, I don't believe that the bodyguards were amateurs. This man isn't an ordinary individual either. Please hand that statement to your testimony. How do you know that? How would you know his name?
Hold it.
So the bodyguard on the left was faster. He reacted in just an instant. His response time was superb. I believe his name was Ethan Rook. He had plenty of time to react. Not necessarily. His expression never changes. Maybe he threw the bag in the trash can. But Rook wasn't supposed to be there to begin with, so that's a bit suspicious too. Why did they take each other's place? Pay extra attention to the lake area. I have a theory. I believe for him, a professional killer like him, to be in the audience and then shoot the balloons and the flag instead of his target being so off target, and for him to have the plan for the security plan for the protection of the president in his possession, it might have been that this is all something that was organized to give the impression of a terrorist attack when actually it was all a setup. I don't know, it kind of feels that way. The killer might have been, and it's his real name, Shelley the Killer. That's his name, his full name, John Doe. Was hired by the president, maybe, to make it seem like there was a terrorist attack when actually the president is all safe and unarmed inside the plane. And maybe that's why they will not let me see him. The man on the left side of the stage was exceptionally quick, and Mr. Ethan Rook, as I recall. Maybe the contradiction is in the picture. Is there a hint as to who is who in there? Well, the one on the left has the blue tie, I guess. Rook. I'm not exactly sure what I have to do here, but I'm gonna try presenting that photo. No, okay. Okay, that's not it. Maybe I'll press on the rest. Why did you use a raincoat instead of an umbrella? Is it strange to wear a raincoat on a rainy day? It's strange to purposely wear a raincoat when you can't get your arm into it. If both my hands were occupied, I wouldn't be able to serve ice cream. Why didn't you mention that in your testimony earlier? I'm terribly sorry. It must have slipped my mind. After all, I had just gone through all that. All that? The shooting of the president, of course. Or maybe I have to present this one as proof that there were 2 gunshots and not 1. He says 1 gunshot and that bothers me. Contradicts this piece of evidence. Is that so? No. Yeah, the music would stop if this was the right option. It's top secret information. Ah, okay, there we go. It's top secret information. How would he know? That's one of the other things that bothered me. It seems you aren't just a simple ice cream salesman after all. You think too highly of me, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Why would a simple ice cream salesman know the name of the president's bodyguard? The name of the bodyguard? Surely you jest. Didn't you say their names just a moment ago? Mr. Knightley and Mr. Rook. Correct? I didn't say anything. This is a diagram of the security plans. We learned their names from this. However, please look. Only their surnames are written here. You distinctly said Ethan Rook. How did you know his full name when we did not? Actually, I thought at first that they were code names. So I didn't actually think that they were real names. So because sometimes bodyguards have like code names, so that's pretty weird, sir. Why do you know his name? Explain yourself. That was merely a slip of the tongue. It's true, this guy is the assassin. Young lady, you're being a little hasty. The reason I knew his name is quite simple. What? I am an acquaintance of Mr. Rook's. What? He and I have a bit of a connection. His is a name that I will never forget. Mr. Edgeworth, he's just telling a bit fat lie. This is not a lie, I am just a simple ice cream salesman. And an acquaintance of Ethan Rook's. In that case, let's just ask Rook himself about this, whether or not he's acquainted with this dubious ice cream salesman. As you wish, however, that may prove difficult now. He is currently busy with the president's security after all. Besides, even if I am not an acquaintance of Mr. Rook's, does that prove that I fired the gun? If you aren't the assassin, then why did you remove your raincoat? It was a little hot and the rain had stopped. I wanted to air out the wound. Is there a problem with that? I just can't seem to corner him. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing? Hurry up and arrest him. That man's so suspicious. I'd even arrest him myself. Arrest him without evidence. How could I do such a thing? Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. Can't you do something? Breaking news. The criminal is on the verge of escaping the prosecutor. Oh dear. They're already treating me like a criminal. I understand. Since I've been suspected this far, it seems I will have to tell the truth. The truth? What is he up to? I saw another person wearing a red hood. What? Liar. Surely that was the person who was in the photo. I first noticed him right before the speech when it was still raining. He caught my eye because his raincoat was the same color as mine. In his hand I saw a laser pointer with the light aimed directly at the president. It can't be. There was another person wearing a red hood? I knew that if I wore the red raincoat, I'd be mistaken for the assassin. That is why I took off the raincoat. You saw an assassin wearing the same color hood as yours? Wouldn't that be a nice coincidence? And wouldn't that be the first thing you would have said and not only bring that up when you're in a tough spot? Really, seriously? That's what I expected you would say, which is why I did not testify as such. Prosecutors and the police are a suspicious lot. I knew that nobody would believe me. At the moment of the incident, the assassin was very close to the prosecutor. Prosecutor, I only arrived after the incident. Not you, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Mr. Payne. That prosecutor over there. Me? Yes, you should be visible in that photo. Actually, it's him with the laser on his back, isn't it? Ah yeah, right in front of the person in the red hood, they say. That's me, alright. What's your point? What's this man driving at? I have been observing your investigation this entire time, Prosecutor Edgeworth, and I have noticed something strange. Something strange. It seems you still haven't noticed this contradiction yet. A contradiction. In this photo, the people who can be seen are the Chief, Mr. Payne, and the assassin. The Chief? What Chief? Oh, the Chief of Prosecutors? I don't see anything strange. Please think back carefully about the circumstances during the President's speech. I believe you are holding the evidence that contradicts this photo. I think this one.
Take that!
Honestly, I'm not sure, but I'll present this. Mr. Edgeworth, is it really okay to present evidence you're not sure about? In times like this, maybe you should hold back, sir. Okay. It's a shame, but you should just accept your mistake and try again. Yeah, okay. What, the fact that the laser was on his forehead and here it's on the back of the person?
Take that!
The next photo? No, okay, that's not it. What, that he would have heard the gunshots? Being right in front? It can't be. There's a contradiction between the photo and the tape. It seems you've noticed. Mr. Edgeworth, what's going on? There is a person missing from this photograph. Huh? Who is it? The journalist isn't on the photo. If she was near them and could record the conversation, and it's them two right in front of the red raincoat person, where would she be? Nicole Swift. Why isn't she in the photograph? Miss Swift? Why would you say that? Mr. Payne's voice was recorded on Miss Swift's tape. He was whispering quietly with the chief prosecutor. Those are from the folks standing in front of me. I reckon it was it was two older men. Don't tell me you were wearing a red raincoat. But she has that huge backpack. She would have been wearing it on top of the red raincoat, I guess. They kept on whispering to each other. It seems Miss Swift was near Mr. Payne when she recorded the speech. Ah, but she isn't anywhere in this photo. That is correct. Now, Mr. Prosecutor, who is the one you should be pursuing? Nicole Swift, would you mind giving us your testimony? Come on, it feels weird when you talk all formal like that. It's fine, I ain't got nothing to hide. Where were you then? I want to know. Sorry. It ain't like I stayed in one spot while I was recording. I was moving around the audience area, shuffling here and there. I reckon this picture must have been snapped at a different time to my tape recording. So quit making that scary face, I ain't what you think. Miss Swift's tape recorded a conversation between my colleagues. Mr. Payne and the Chief Prosecutor. Why would Nicole be lying? That would mean... It'd mean Nicole Swift is the assassin, pal. Y'all gotta be kidding me. I ain't done nothing like that. Be that as it may, however, there is a contradiction in your testimony. Huh? I don't reckon so, no sir. It appears I must reveal this contradiction with evidence. It ain't like I stayed in one spot while I was recording. I was moving around the audience area, shuffling here and there.
Hold it.
Here and there. Could you be more specific? Suggest the side you were on. When I say here and there, it means just that. I was all about the place. You couldn't swing a dead cat in that crowd. You expect me to remember where I was? Could you at least remember if it was the left or right side? Left, I reckon. The person in the photo is also on the left side. Is this just a coincidence? I reckon this picture must have been snapped at a different time to my tape recording.
Hold it.
So you're saying it is logical that you can't be seen in the photo? Yep, I was near that prosecutor when his voice got recorded. But I reckon this picture must have been taken when I was far away, no doubt about it. It's not impossible. Nothing wrong here, far as I can see. Dart tootin'. It ain't about the equipment, it's all about the timing. What if they were both taken at the same time? If I can prove that, their entire testimony will collapse. Oops. No, because in the picture he raises his fist exactly like she says in the recording. I can present one or the other, I guess. And then point out the fist. Miss Swift, the reporter shouldn't lie. I ain't lying. I am an honest journalist. Perhaps, but there's no denying that the photo and the recording were taken at the same time. That's so, and what makes you say that? The truth lies in these photos. This photo could only have been taken at the same time as your recording. Fist?
Take that.
Can you see the president with his fist raised in the air? What about it? Miss Swift, might we hear your tape one more time? Nuh-uh, you ain't gonna hear a word. Way you've been trading me. Would you rather we charge you with obstruction of justice and seize it from you? Fine, you win. I'm no match for you, Mr. Prosecutor. Question is, during which part of his speech did the president raise his fists? Right before the gunshots. No matter what sort of heinous criminal organization there is, I will not allow them to exist. The president raises his fist in the air. The atmosphere is boiling to a fever pitch. Aha! Raises his fist straight from the horse's mouth, sir. This tape was recorded at the moment the president raised his fists overhead. Then that means Nicole not being in this photo is really strange. Unless she's under the raincoat, I guess, yep. But where was her backpack, though? It's huge. Oh, but she is in the photo right there. The person in the red hood, it was you, Nicole Swift. Ah! You're the real assassin, aren't you, pal? That ain't so. I ain't never worn that red raincoat. This red raincoat in question belongs to... If it's hers, why is there a red stain, I guess? Well, when he says this red raincoat, does he mean the one in the photo or the one we found? I think the one we found is clearly John Doe's. But in the photo, it would be Nicole Swift's. That much has been proven. You were wearing something else. A different red hood. You mean there were two red hoodies, sir? Mr. Doe's last testimony was true. But we didn't find any other raincoats. In her backpack, maybe. What Mr. Doe saw was a red hood, not a raincoat. Miss Swift, what was it you told us earlier about your parka? Ah, yeah. She can turn it the other way around or something. Oh, you mean when I said I ain't worried about it getting all dirty? It's reversible, so all I gotta do is turn it inside out and... Ah! It's reversible, yeah. As I thought. Mr. Edgeworth, the inside of her parka is red. Indeed, and during the incident she was using that side. What? Hey pal, what's the big idea? You're wrong, I've been wearing it like this the whole day. Well then, would you allow me to examine your parka? What are you expecting to find? We know it was raining prior to the president's speech. I believe you said earlier. Well, I don't use raincoats or umbrellas. Come rain or snow, all I need is my trusty parka. If you really didn't turn your parka inside out, then the inside should be dry. Hang on a minute, I ain't taking off this heavy backpack and putting it back on again. Sorry, but can't we do this another time? You think you could fool Mr. Edgeworth with that, pal? Why is she hiding it if she has nothing to... I mean, if she has nothing to hide, why is she like that? Alright then, pal, if we're really wrong, prove it. Show us the inside of the parka. It wasn't me. I ain't no assassin. Miss Swift, if you want me to believe that, then you need to cooperate with us. Will you please tell us why you wore the red side of the parka? I'm sorry, Mr. Prosecutor. I had my reasons, honest. I'll tell you all everything. Just quit bullying me. Hold it. Who? Whose voice was that? It's a little too early for the endgame. Could it be Franziska von Karma? Who is it? Oh, no. Okay. Hey, you in the fancy suit. Haven't you been jumping the gun ever since your opening move? This man was in case photo. Well, I guess I should introduce myself first. My name is... Yeah, right. Horace Knight, the president's bodyguard, second in command of his personal security unit. Ah! Watch it, pal, that's not a toy! Wow, my bad. She just wants to come out and play. I can't seem to help it. Why do you have a gun if you're not a police officer? She's a lady of Zengfa. Only the president's bodyguards are authorized to use it. Anyway, back to business. I've got some news for you. There's a good news and bad news. Which do you want to hear first? It makes no difference to me. Do as you wish. You sure? I'm giving you the first move. Alright, I got you. I'll start with my pawn. Seems you enjoy chess. You play too, Mr. Fancy Suit. It's Edgeworth, and I do have a fondness for chess. Is that so? Well then, Chess Master Edgeworth. I'll start with the good news. The president's safe. Not even a scratch on him. Really? That's great, pal. It seems that the young lady was not a murderer after all. Good for you, Nicole. But well, there. Don't forget, there's still the bad news. The president is safe because his bodyguards protected him. Actually, I had nothing to do with it. It was the leader who protected him. At the cost of his own life. That would be the other bodyguard. Rook, was it? Yeah, that's right. Rook died to protect the president. Is that true, I wonder? Or is that a lie? What? Is that so? Rook is dead. What a shame. That means Nicole. It means that the little lady killed him, my brother in arms. That ain't true. I ain't a murderer. Whoa there, pipe down, little Miss Murderer. Geez, even if we had to make a sacrifice to protect the king, it was a pretty bad move, that castling. Sacrifices in castles? What's he talking about, sir? They're all chess terms. He's saying Rook's life was exchanged for the president. This guy sure talks funny, sir. Horace Knight, was it? What do you want? I'd like to examine the victim's body as soon as possible, and if it's possible, I'd like to question the president. Sorry, but I can't let you do that. What? I got another piece of news for you, and this one's a doozy. There's another piece of news? From here on out, this investigation will be handled by the Zangfa police. What? What's going on, pal? This case is under our jurisdiction. You have no right to interfere. You're Prosecutor Edgeworth, right? The president knows about you solving the Attache case. I'm honored. That's why the chief prosecutor designated you to be in charge of the case. It seems the chief prosecutor made a little appeal to the president. But it looks like you're the wrong guy for the job. I didn't know you'd have this kind of reaction. It's the president's order. If you oppose, you'll cause an international incident, capiche? Hey, little lady, get over here. We'll continue your questioning inside the president's plane. No, I didn't do nothing. Hey now, don't be a baby. You scared of a little Zangfa justice? Mr. Prosecutor, please. Please help me. Miss Swift. It's clear that Miss Swift was the person in the red hood. However, that doesn't mean that the whole truth has been revealed. Well, there's no doubt that it was her in the red hood in the photo. But what was that red laser then? If it was coming from her. I really didn't do it, please believe me. Is it really alright for it to end this way? All I see is a girl with eyes full of fear, pleading for help. Certainly not someone who's committed a heinous crime. If I stand aside now and do nothing, the truth will be lost to the darkness. Ah! Eh! What? What? What the? You! Silence. What the is an impolite way to greet someone. Your neck injury has yet to heal, and you've already forgotten? No, not you, not now. It seems you've remembered. Hey, what are you doing? Cut it out, pal. You've got some nerve to do that right in front of a detective and a prosecutor. Stop, stay out of this. He's out of your league. Mr. Doe, who on earth are you? I am not merely a simple ice cream salesman. He is a professional assassin. His name is Shelly the Killer. Yeah, I knew it already. Remember when he abducted Maya Fey? There is no one in law enforcement who doesn't know the name The Killer, an assassin who will carry out any request without fail. He was once involved in a case I handled. It's been a while, Prosecutor Edgeworth, although I do believe this is our first face-to-face meeting. Yeah, he was a radio in the courthouse last time. Just a second. Okay, feeling a bit cold. the real assassin was you all along. That is correct. I received a request from a key individual to take the president's life. Okay, so maybe it was not a setup like I thought it was then after all. I should have seen his face before in the case files. Curses. I was careless. I'm glad I hid a knife inside my bandage before I entered the park, even though my calculations were a little off. A knife, not a gun? Now, Mr. Knightley, shall we play that game you love so much? Of course, the stakes will be your life. What are your demands? What are your demands? I want you to relinquish investigative authority back to Prosecutor Edgeworth. Investigative authority? What are you playing at? I simply want you to allow Edgeworth to continue his investigation. Huh? Why do you want that? Rook is an opponent who is connected to me by fate. I would like to discover the truth about his death. When that man died, the investigative authority was transferred to you. I am simply asking you to give it back to this prosecutor. With your life at stake, this really isn't the time to be stubborn. Why, you're just using the investigation to get close to the president. And what if I am? Indeed, in order to continue the investigation, it is necessary that we enter the president's plane. As the leader of the president's bodyguard, I won't allow it. Oh, I thought you were only second in command. Now that Rook's gone, I am in charge. I'm not sure if you're as capable as Rook was. What are you saying? I'm totally the leader now. Very well, in that case, please exercise judgment befitting of a leader. You can lose your life here needlessly, or will you allow the investigation to continue? Gah. He's using the investigation as an excuse. Why would he go to all that trouble? What is this man thinking? Prosecutor Edgeworth, I trust you have no objections. Let us continue the investigation. Miss Edgeworth, what should we do, sir? For now, we have no choice but to accept this proposal. At least we'll be able to investigate. But, listen well, detective. I'll use the investigation to buy us time. Meanwhile, gather up all your men. Surround the president's plane so that he can't escape. Right, roger that, sir. To be continued, it seems. Yeah, just so that I don't inadvertently reload the old save and lose that permanent save right there, I'm just gonna overwrite the save file like I did just there. The death of the bodyguard Ethan Rook and the arrival of Shelley the Killer, a new development in this case has come to light. Under Knightley's direction, the door of the president's plane was opened. After the paramedics attending Mr. Rook left, we set foot inside the plane, one by one. Oh my, where would the president be? Who knows? It seems he's just behind that door. Still a coward, I see. You think he'd just show himself in front of a hitman? Not a chance. Didn't I tell you already? My purpose here is simply to investigate the case. Well then, Mr. Prosecutor, we await your examination of the body. Right. For now, I have no choice but to obey and continue the investigation. The rest is up to Detective Gumshoe. I'm counting on you. The attempted assassination of the president became the murder of a bodyguard. It looks like you could use some help, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, I don't deny it, but... See, exactly. If that's the case, then it can't be helped. Just leave it to the great thief, Kay Faraday. Right, so are you saying you can solve this case? Nope. Said with such certainty. Instead, I'll stick to being your support. Right, let's get straight to the investigation. We need to buy time for the police to prepare. I'll need to draw out the investigation for as long as I can. Two gas masks lay on the table ready to protect against poison gas attacks. The president seems to be quite fearful of his assassinations. So this is a rumored gas mask. It's my first time seeing the real thing. Rumored among the great thieves. No, the Gem and Ninja, the children's program. During Princess Viola's wedding ceremony, the poison-tongued ninja Simon Cowell. I should stop listening to her so seriously. It never seems to pay off. Next to the riot shield, there's a canary in a cage. Oh, it's so cute. I want one to be my partner. Partner? Of course. It can help me open locks and do other hot jobs at the crime scene. A great thief should always use nature to her advantage. I've heard of canaries being used to detect poison gas. Don't tell me. No, okay, a life preserver? A sturdy life preserver rests against the table. It is an essential life-saving tool. I suppose this is precaution in case someone accidentally falls into the ocean. The ocean, huh? Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, how about we go together sometime? If you want to go, just go by yourself. Oh, don't be such a party pooper. Let's go visit the ocean. Think about the hot dogs and the shaved ice. It'll be delicious. You just want to go to the ocean to eat. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. So the president was shot then, if there's a bullet in the bulletproof vest. It's a collection of colorful personal security alarms. They all seem to have been used before. The president, he sure is a nice guy. He bought these security alarms to protect his wife and kids. And why would he leave them all here? It's obvious that they're for his own personal use. Objection, a single person can carry that many security alarms. Because a person only has 2 hands. That objection is worth 0 points. Its strange decoration based off of some strange animals is staring at me with its strange eyes. There's a lever on the statue, see right there on its butt? That would be most unforgivable. Hey! I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything by it. That lever most likely operates a trapdoor underneath my feet. Then that hatch is actually a pitfall trap. I hope you understand. It would be in your best interest not to pull that lever. When a killer talks about your best interests, it would be wise to do as he says. Are these some kind of official documents? I know it's a bit rude, but let's take a peek inside. March 19th. Okay, so the plan on March 19th wasn't the same. It was changed. Rook was placed on the left, that was changed, and then they said something about pay attention to the lake, or some particular attention to the lake, or something like that, the lake side. So it's an outdated security plan. This looks like the one we found earlier in the trash can. Yes, it does, but what's this? Something seems out of place. The date, for one thing.
Eureka!
Look, there's a clear contradiction here. Yes, there is! Even if the game will not acknowledge it, there is. The date is different. Just joking here, right? The printing alignment is a bit off. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to work harder at following your lead. Bullshit. The date is different. Or should I show the pictures, maybe? I don't know what they want from me. I know where the contradiction is. It's not the same plan. It certainly is a very sketchy drawing. This seems to be a security plan document. If so, we obtained something like this earlier. Something's different about this one. Could it be... Perhaps I should try deducing. I just tried! Or do you have to point the 19th specifically?
Eureka!
No. But I'm right, am I not? It's just not what the game wants, and I hate when the game is like that. It's expecting something different, even though what I did notice and what I'm trying to point out is clearly a contradiction too. But the game is just not programmed to recognize that one. It wants another one.
Eureka!
Yeah, okay, it's wrong again. Well, let me save, because otherwise, I'm just gonna get a game over. I don't know what they want from me. There's more security, maybe? Or there's the undercover agents in the audience? Yeah, they're not here on this one. I guess that... Well, there was more security for one thing. Here it's only the 2 bodyguards. How come? No, is that not it? Ah, okay, that's it, okay. Well, it's not just the date then, it's the details. What's this? The details of the security plans were changed, eh? Ah, you're right, there was way more security before. It was changed yesterday. President's orders. Why the sudden change? Because 2 days ago, the killer attacked the president. He disguised himself as a bodyguard. Rook was the first to notice. He had already gotten close to the president. Rook managed to stop him just in the nick of time. Rook grabbed his left arm and twisted it. And then he fired 1 bullet square into his left arm. What were you doing in that time, Mr. Knightley? I was, if I remember correctly, the first person I took out that day was you. Oops, was that a touchy subject? Shut up. Ah, crap. No. Trying to get more light. I'm just covering the camera. Come on. There we go. Okay. So, back then, your neck injury has yet to heal, and you've already forgotten? No, not you, not now. Since that day, I haven't been able to turn my head right. It sucks. To think that I would suffer an injury. Ethan Rook. You could say he was a most capable individual. Unlike this man here. What's so different about me and Rook? I believe you're about as different as a pawn and a queen. What? So you remembered Rook's name because he was highly capable. Correct. While disguised as a bodyguard, I happened to hear his name. There was no way I could forget that name. Only a select few have ever been able to injure me. So this was the connection the killer was talking about. The security arrangements were changed, so that the killer would not be able to sneak in as a bodyguard again. Ah, that's why there were fewer bodyguards then. Only the president's 2 most trusted subordinates would accompany him on stage. But that's still I mean, you could disguise bodyguards as random people in the crowd. I mean, that's a pretty stupid plan to just remove the security so that, oh, that way the killer will not be able to disguise himself as a bodyguard. That's a stupid plan, if I've ever heard one. In short, me and Rook
security plans data updated in my organizer. Yeah, well, okay. It appears your positions were also changed. That's true. He's now on the right side. Because I can't turn my head to the right, my position got changed to the president's left side. In other words, I was relocated to the right side of the stage. So basically, he couldn't have seen anything that was happening in the left side of the audience, facing the president. That's a heavy-looking vest. The president's clothes must be made from some special fabric. Indeed, it's to protect against bullets. Wow! It even does that? Naturally. This is a bulletproof vest after all. It says ZBI. Zengfa Bureau of Investigation? I don't know. Found on top of the desk, a bullet is embedded in it. What's this, the president's? Ah, so that's what it is. This is the first time I've seen one. You could have said something earlier. That really surprised me. It's an assortment of protective gear from bulletproof vests to hazmat suits. Wow, there's even a spacesuit. The president seems to be very protective of himself. But what happens if he gets shot and then gets exposed to poison gas? And then on top of all that, he gets ejected into space. He would probably wear everything that you see here. That would be a sight to see. It's an inflatable lifeboat with an oar sitting on top. Looks like it's ready to be used at any time. Hey, there's only one oar. Well, I guess you could try to paddle with your hands. The internal and external views of the plane are being monitored by these monitors. What's that one? What's this thing? Oh, that's the president's precious stuffed animal. I don't really get it, but it's some kind of keepsake. Don't touch it. Precious? That's unexpected. It kinda looks like there's been a break-in. Indeed, the area it stands on does look a bit unnatural. Are those glass shards underneath the stuffed animal? It's a natural empty space, perhaps. Was there another monitor here? This monitor shows what's happening in this room. They've got some pretty good tech. Is that so? I don't know much about these types of things. It even captures the fine lines around your eyes, Mr. Edgeworth. Oops, my bad. Those are the usual wrinkles on your forehead. K, is that all you wanted to say? These monitors show the cockpit and the aircraft's exterior. There doesn't seem to be anything out of place, except the fact that there is one that doesn't work. I think when he says that, it means I've already found everything that was to be found there. But I haven't had a look at the body yet. Every suspicious looking nook and cranny. It's a bit weird if the shot came from the left side of the audience, that he would have been shot on that side. Since he was facing the crowd here, the bullet would have more likely come from the right side, right? This is a bulletproof attache case. It's a tool bodyguards use to protect themselves from bullets. It can be seen in case photo. It seems Rook and Knightley both had one. Ah, that's the scene I stole on film. You didn't do anything illegal in taking this. Anywhere, anytime, I'm always in the mood to steal. You just wanted to use the word steal, didn't you? Hehe, have I been caught? Seems the victim also carried a gun. Did he try to shoot something? He may have drawn it out instinctively to return fire. We need to check to see if the gun has fired any bullets. Still fully loaded. There's no evidence of any shots being fired. This gun is also from Zhengfa, right? Ah, yeah. We were always issued the same model revolver. Hasn't fired a single shot, manufactured in Zhengfa, a 6-shot revolver. Doesn't it seem to be the exact same model as the one with the laser pointer on it? The bullet pierced his body just below his armpits. The bullet went straight through the victim's body. Where did it go? Unfortunately, he was hit in an area his bulletproof vest didn't cover. It really seems like a well-aimed shot. The cause of death was most likely blood loss. The bleeding has stopped. Cause of death, blood loss from bullet wound in the chest. Bullet passed through his body. The paramedics were called to treat Mr. Rook, right? I'm afraid they didn't make it in time. The victim is Ethan Rook. He was the president's bodyguard. After hearing the gunshots, he immediately evacuated the president into the plane. He gave up his life to fulfill his duties. Does this mean he'll receive a posthumous promotion? K, there's no need for forced comments. How did you know? Bodyguards don't follow that promotion system. Is he holding something in his other hand, maybe? The president is just beyond this door. I'm getting a sense that it's challenging me. Okay, there's no need to feel challenged by a door. But look at how big it is, all those electronic locks. It's challenging me to unlock it. Calm down and think it over. What is the purpose of a key? What is the purpose? To unlock treasure? That's right, to unlock treasure. Was that the right answer? I wonder. I haven't talked to her, actually. He was shot just below the armpit. Yes, the bulletproof vest didn't protect that spot. The paramedics didn't arrive in time. Poor Mr. Rook must have been in a lot of pain. There's no time to feel sad. If we don't find the truth, he will never rest in peace. Yes, I'll do my best. I wish I had something like this. Bulletproof thief bags or bulletproof ninja boots. Maybe Gummy can get me some. A thief who needs those things cannot be called a great thief. But the climax usually involves running through a shower of bullets, right? Without the bulletproof goods, the treasure and I would be Swiss cheese. Climax. Like in a TV show. I believe that even a great thief has rights. For example, we have the right to choose what we want to steal. I guess she doesn't consider this valuable. Okay, that was our default answer. That was our default answer. That was our default answer. The truth of the laser pointer was just as we thought. But I didn't think that I would end up stealing the truth about Mr. the Killer as well. Yes, it was thanks to you that we were able to spot him. Hehehe, next time I'll steal something even more amazing. Okay, we've gone over this many times. I know. I'll only steal the truth. I pray that's true, for your sake. Okay, that's the default answer. The Steel Samurai is cool, but I like the Gemin Ninja best. Armed with his singing voice, he journeys his way through the warring Muromachi age. He's so awesome. If I recall, the protagonist isn't your ordinary ninja. That's right, he uses his ninja songs to propel himself towards stardom. Maybe I should give it a try as the singing great thief. It would make her easier to catch. I guess I shouldn't stop her. Okay, default answer. Hey, check my badge. That's a really cool badge. It depicts a blazing sun on top of winter frost. Yes, it symbolizes the severity of criminal justice system. My badge has symbols too. It symbolizes love and justice and peace and courage and honor and kindness. What happened to truth? Well, I didn't talk to her in the end. And then there's logic. Maybe I should check up to see if there's anything new there. Notice anything? So there were actually two people who dressed up as the assassin in the red hood. No, it's too early to say for sure at the moment. But there's Mr. the Killer, who's a professional assassin. And then there's Nicole, who aimed the laser pointer at the president. This is making my head spin. The reason we cannot see the truth is because something is obstructing it. I get it. If we stole that something, then we'd also be seeing the truth. Well, I suppose that's one way to look at it. Actually, I've been studying up on investigation techniques. Oh, that sounds promising. First, examine the evidence and information that you stole. Present the stolen evidence, connect the stolen information, and new truth will appear for you to steal. That's a lot of stealing. How was that? I worked really hard at it. You get points. For effort, I guess. I can't believe a real professional assassin asked us to investigate this case for him. I couldn't agree more. Just what is he thinking? In any case, let's continue the investigation. Let's do this for Mr. Rook's sake as well. Being an assistant sure is hard work. I don't recall ever making you my assistant. On the other hand, being a detective seems really fun. You're so clever, Mr. Edgeworth. I also don't recall ever becoming a good detective. Anyway, if you have a good brain and a pipe in your mouth, you're a detective, right? I'm not quite sure where you're going with this. However, think about the job description of an assistant. They carry organizers with them and record information. But you do that all yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. I shouldn't have asked. Well, I guess I should save everything that I've done so far, just to be sure. Oh yeah, I haven't talked to the journalist yet, and to the killer and the other guy. It ain't me. I'm just a journalist. All I wanted was a scoop. I'd never kill anybody. Well, you still haven't told us why you concealed the parka from us. Well, that's because I thought y'all would get suspicious. Is that really the only reason? You gotta believe me, Mr. Prosecutor, I didn't do nothing. I won't tell you not to worry, but there's no need to be overly frightened. If you truly are innocent, I swear I will prove it. Yeah, my mentor does believe in me. For the last time, Miss Swift, I am not your mentor. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Prosecutor, you'll always be my second mentor. That's not quite what I meant. I'm telling you, I don't know this rogue fella from Adam. The heck would I shoot him for? Took a bullet meant for the president and now he's dead. Well, I don't know much at all about the president either. Then what did you come here for? I told ya I had my reasons. Don't make a poor gal spill the beans, Mr. Prosecutor. I'm sorry. Against the prosecutor's stern glare and his unrelenting questioning, I am at a loss for words. Okay, that's her default answer. I haven't even done anything yet. Same thing. Same thing. Suddenly, the prosecutor points a gun at the reporter. I fear that this unlucky reporter will soon find herself at the bottom of the lake. You shouldn't talk like that. Save it for when you actually get shot. If I did get shot, I reckon I wouldn't be saying much at all. I guess you have a point. Okay. It's just as you said, I was the one behind them recordings, but I ain't never... Say no more, Miss Swift, I'm on your side. You're right, I'll pipe down. I'm just a useless reporter. That's not what I meant. Even if you do not say a word, the evidence will speak for you. The truth is out there. All we have to do is reveal it. Mr. Prosecutor, I reckon I'm gonna use that as my next headline. Sure, whatever cheers her up. Cheers her up. If I show that, she's gonna have the same line as before. Okay, whether you show the picture or the recorder, it's the same thing. Guess I'll be the star of tomorrow's headlines. Don't be so hasty, Miss Swift. The truth has yet to be found. It still hasn't been decided. Journalist is truly deadlier than her pen. Beautiful assassin masquerades as reporter. From living room to diner, I'll be the talk of the town. I think those headlines are a little unlikely. Prosecutor presents his shiny pointy badge and asks, "How about a nice cold glass of water?" I said no such thing. Detective adds, "Or would you prefer some grape juice instead, pal?" What are you talking about? I'm just getting ready for the real deal. My interrogation. Prosecutors don't handle the interrogations. Yeah, and there's nothing new, it seems. I have high hopes for you. Please ensure you do not disappoint me. This is the first time I've seen one in person. Is that your license? I myself... You mean, there's actually a license to kill? There isn't one, actually. However, if you insist... Don't worry about it. That's one truth I don't need to steal, Mr. the Killer. Even a great thief's pride is nothing before the presence of a professional killer. You're a very bad man, Mr. Prosecutor. If it's about a job request, we can talk about it later. What's he talking about? Is that gonna solve the case? Unlikely, but keep in mind, we're dealing with Prosecutor Edgeworth here. You must have given it a lot of thought. A lot of thought, indeed. Yes, of course. I shouldn't provoke him. Okay, default answer. Default answer. You, where'd you get that? If I'm not mistaken, this is the security plan for today's event. Yeah, that's right. It outlines where Rook and I were stationed. If only I'd been in this position, then I'd be the one who... It appears this man has a complex of sorts regarding Rook. This has no class. It's lacking in intelligence as well as refinement. Most importantly, it lacks honor. In what world can one consider a murder weapon to be honorable? Prosecutor Edgeworth, I do not share your sentiments. Do you actually believe there is? Yes, of course there is. Don't be rude, Mr. Edgeworth. Apologize to the man. Why must I apologize? The single piece of evidence was all it took for you to track me down. I'm impressed. His raincoat was found stuffed under the food stalls. I did not want you to mistake me for the assassin. It seems my worries were unfounded, since you all single-handedly uncovered the identity of the other red-hooded figure. After that, can you honestly tell me you still lack faith in your deductive reasoning? The killer seems to be telling the truth. I bet even Rook had no idea that he'd meet his end at the hands of that little lady. Silence. Why you? Mr. Prosecutor, please continue. Yes, what is this man thinking? How is your investigation progressing? Not good, I'm afraid. Well, there's still logic that I haven't tried yet. There is no need for concern. It is proceeding smoothly. You remember how much I detest betrayal. All too well. I thought you would. So please, don't do anything you'll regret. Yeah, I have no choice but to obey him for now. This is nuts. I'm being used to get an assassin onto the president's plane. If we didn't enter the plane, the investigation would have come to an end. You're not fooling anyone. I know what you're after. I believe I've already said that my only interest is the nature of Rook's death. But what about the person who hired you to assassinate the president? Perhaps you have forgotten. I have no intent to carry out a job I deem futile. Very well. Let's continue the investigation. I'm a bit stuck. Well, let's try to piece some things together, I guess. Two bullets were fired. We know that from the number of gunshots. One hit the steel samurai balloon and the other took Rook's life. But didn't a bullet also hit the president's bulletproof vest? Right, it doesn't match up with the number of shots. However, there is one way to solve this. One way? The bullet that stole Rook's life pierced through his body and then hit the vest. In other words, Rook and the president were hit by the same bullet. That's right. It'd be dangerous if he hadn't worn that bulletproof vest. Is the president alright? Even while wearing a bulletproof vest, you can still get injured. Yeah, the bullet's impact can still fracture your bones. But don't worry, he's fine. The president's trained himself like no other. Maybe the president didn't even need a bulletproof vest. I think that might be pushing it. I'd like to examine the bullet. There's a chance there may still be ballistic markings. Ballistic markings? What's that? Ballistic markings are always left on a bullet. Each gun leaves a different marking. So if we examine the ballistic markings, we'll know which gun the bullet was fired from. You could say they're like a gun's fingerprints. I get it now. Let's investigate right away. I think that'd be difficult. The bullet was completely flattened when it hit the bulletproof vest. There's no way you could investigate the ballistic markings. What? I wanted to investigate them. Hit by the bullet that passed through the victim, bullet was flattened by the impact. Yeah, they're the same model of gun, so that much I had surmised. These two guns, they're the exact same model. These guns came from Zengfa. Assassin's revolver data updated in my organizer. Looks like all the bodyguards were provided with guns from Zengfa. Indeed. Are those guns rare? No, not particularly. They're not easy to obtain domestically, but it isn't impossible either. What? I thought they might be a treasure. Yes, it's unfortunate. Eh? Mr. Edgeworth, are you talking about treasure? I'd like to drink something. Hold on. Makes a man thirsty. Okay. Not quite. If it was a rare model, it would have been easier to identify. Even evidence can become treasure. I see. Even during your investigations, you search for treasure. Well, I didn't quite say that. Okay, let's investigate. Where's the treasure? And suddenly she's motivated. Now then, I've grown weary of this investigation. Still no sign of Detective Gumshoe. Mr. Prosecutor, have you uncovered the truth yet? No, not yet. I see. In that case, would you like to speak with someone who is involved in the incident? Someone? Involved in the incident? You mean, the President? Is there not one more witness just behind those doors? Of course, the President himself. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, please do the honors and summon the witness here. There's no chance in hell I'm letting that happen. You think you can just summon the President like a witness in court? Ha! Mr. President, I'm sure you are watching all this through your security cameras. Would you kindly grace us with your presence? That is if you value your bodyguard's life. Grr. I guess he doesn't value it that much. I see. Mr. President, what sort of a man leaves another to die on his behalf? Mr. President! Stop it, take it easy, hey! Still nothing. Come on, Detective Gumshoe. Ah! What? The lights. My apologies, Mr. Prosecutor, but I wouldn't try anything if I were you. It seems I am unable to reach the President, even with Mr. Knightley's life. Stop! Ah! Okay, the killer, you... However, I have already seen the truth. Where? Where is he? Oof. I leave the rest in your hands, Mr. Prosecutor. Mr. Edgeworth. Detective Gumshoe? Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Did I pass out? Mr. Edgeworth, thank goodness you're safe. Mr. Edgeworth, are you okay? Okay, what about you? I just woke up myself. My head's throbbing a bit, but it's no big deal. Detective Gumshoe, what happened to the killer? Mr. Swift kept running out of the plane. She told us the killer made a run for it, but... We were too late, sir. We heard from that bodyguard that the emergency lifeboat over there had been stolen. He's probably at the other side of the lake by now, sir. Didn't you seal off the park? The police were all called back to surround the plane. Right now, there's no one guarding the opposite shore. Grr, that means he succeeded in giving us the slip. Sure seems that way, sir. Mr. Prosecutor. Horace Knightley, it seems you also had a narrow escape. Yeah, that sucked. That punk. Now... I was cold earlier, and now I'm too hot. Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go. Come to think of it, we found this near where you fell, sir. This is the killer's calling card. Yeah, I was gonna say he has the logo on his back, actually. Of his jacket that he was wearing earlier. It's like a message from him. Calling card data jotted down in my organizer. He always leaves this card next to his victim's body. But you're not dead, sir. Perhaps this signifies something similar to a killing. Which reminds me, the last thing he said still bothers me. However, I have already seen the truth. I leave the rest in your hands, Mr. Prosecutor. Seen the truth? What did he mean? Yeah, it's safe now. What was that? The President will be making his entrance now. The President? Sure enough, there he is. Huang. This man is the President of Zengfa, Dijun Wang. You are? It is an honor to meet you. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I am a prosecutor. I am Dijun Huang. I have heard of your deeds. You saved my country from a great crisis. Is he referring to the Attache case? I was simply solving a murder, nothing more. Such modesty. I have been observing your investigation. An astounding performance, despite allowing the killer to get away. Thank you very much. So he was watching through the security cameras. However, I regret that it ends here. What do you mean? Heed my words, foolish prosecutor. You shouldn't have already been informed. You should have already been informed by Knightley. This investigation will be handed over to the esteemed police force of Zengfa. Now that the killer is gone, they intend to take over the investigation. Hey pal, what are you doing? And what's with that attitude? It's because of the killer and Mr. Edgeworth that... Enough, detective. Mr. President, I cannot agree to this. Why must this investigation be handed over to your country's police? Why, you say? Know your place, puny prosecutor. Must I explain my actions? Nay, I think not. You shall hand over all the evidence you've found so far and leave this plane at once. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, be a good boy and do as you're told. I cannot resist any longer. All the evidence handed over to Knightley. Why? Why won't he allow me to investigate this case any further? Now then, would you kindly take your leave? Knightley, place the suspect under firm restraint. I'm on it, Mr. President. An attempt on my life, the murder of my subordinate, such evil, such sin. I didn't kill nobody, I swear. Shut your trap, lady. You dare question me, you dare stain this world with deceit. Should we pardon this sin? Nay, absolutely not. It is most unforgivable. My reasons being... There's no mistake. The President is hiding something. If I turn back now, the truth will be lost forever. Mr. Edgeworth! Mr. Edgeworth, is there nothing you can do? I remember. Remember? The countless times I faced this dilemma in the courtroom. The lies of the witness, the rebuttals of the defense. I did not always have evidence to counter them. Nonetheless, I was still able to draw out the truth from them. That's right. My words alone are my weapons. Now then, let's analyze the situation. Leave this place at once. He's giving me the finger. Leave this place at once. It is a direct order from the President himself. He's not even listening. Any rebuttal I give, he cuts off. When he has that forceful attitude, I'll need to watch the situation carefully. My opponent is the President of Zengfa. I don't think he'll show any weakness easily. His words may be overbearing, but I need not be intimidated. If I observe his behavior closely, I should be able to read his emotions. First, I'll start by asking about his reasons for taking over the investigation. Now let's begin. A good opening line will put me at an advantage. Please, allow me to confirm something about the investigation. Nay, I don't recall granting your permission to speak. I am the President of Zengfa. You shall not talk back to me. I'm not talking back, I am simply asking for confirmation. This investigation will be taken over by the police of your country, is that correct? Exactly. That is all I will say. Restrain yourself from making any more unnecessary comments. You think I will restrain myself? Haven't you realized it yet? I have you cornered. Ah crap, nonsense. You're just wasting my time with pointless chatter. Wait and see then? That's enough. Being on this plane is tantamount to being on my country's soil. You cannot do as you please. This plane. Is there something significant about this place? It's like a flying embassy, maybe? I should remember this clue. I'd like you to explain your reasons for depriving us of our right to investigate. Impudent fool. Hold your tongue. There is no reason. That should be enough of an explanation for you. Gathering from what you've said so far, does that forceful attitude of yours have some connection to this place? You insolent. Earlier you said that being on this plane is like being on your country's soil. From those words I was able to deduce the answer, namely, that is, you wish to claim extraterritorial rights inside this plane. Am I correct? That's enough. I shall brook no insolence. You seem unsettled. Your words are forceful, but I cannot overlook them. The moment I mentioned extraterritorial rights, your face grew pale. Maybe he can't invoke extraterritorial rights for one reason or another. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure. In light of your brazen courage, I shall grant you an answer. That's right, I am claiming extraterritorial rights inside this plane. However, what does that change? You are still powerless. There is nothing you can do about it. I see, under international law, the plane would be considered part of Zengfa. How convenient. If he wishes to stake this claim, then I shall question its validity. Next move will decide the outcome. He may be the president, but there is a hole in his logic. Let me break it wide open. Challenge the validity of your claim to extraterritorial rights. Do you truly understand what it is you're saying? Of course, and I stand by it. You dare doubt my words? You have no shame. Wait and see. Such irredeemable ignorance. It troubles me greatly. There is no need to worry. I do not need to be saved. It is Miss Swift whom I wish to save from these false charges that you have laid against her. I admire your tenacity. However, your wish is unattainable. The extraterritoriality laws are unshakable. This plane is Zengfa territory. I don't have enough clues to proceed with this line of questioning. I should try another line of attack. Permit me to say this. Don't you feel that your actions are too forceful? Who asked for your opinion? All you need to do is obey. Wait and see. Forceful is the wrong word. It is authority, leadership. So you arrested Miss Swift because you felt you had the authority to do so. Yes, that girl is a criminal. There is no room for dispute. Wait and see. The shooting took place outside the plane. Only she could have done it. That's it. The shooting occurred outside the plane. So it's not under his jurisdiction. It's time to use that clue. The gun came from outside. Indeed, I do not question your extraterritorial rights inside this plane. However, You just claimed that the shooting took place outside the plane. Yes, if it didn't happen inside the plane, extraterritorial laws do not apply. Your claim has fallen apart. Mr. Swift's arrest is invalid. Grrr! Impossible! To be bested by a mere prosecutor! I am the president! Checkmate, Mr. President. Okay. Mr. President, will you allow us to continue with our investigation? Grrr. I yield. I will allow it. My heart is generous. My heart is tolerant and merciful. Therefore, as such, certainly, thus we shall. It is our duty for a most noble cause. Gentlemen, now is the time. I, the President of Zengfa, for the sake of the investigation. This guy sure likes beating around the bush. Knightley, we have received the President's permission. Could you return our evidence? Here. Knightley returned all of the evidence. You did it, Mr. Edgeworth. Indeed, now we can resume the investigation. Heh, it's funny how happy you are just because I gave you your precious pieces back. Now let's see how well you use them. Pay attention then, here's my next move. Mr. President, may I make one more request of you? Would you please testify about the moment of the incident? Testify? Hey, hold on a sec. That's your next move? Isn't that the sort of thing you'd leave to the courts? Naturally, it's a courtroom procedure. However, I'd still like to hear what he has to say. If he refuses to cooperate with the investigation, he will have to give a clear reason. Is there something wrong? Knightley, stand down. I shall grant the Honorable Prosecutor's request. I thank you for your cooperation. Now heed my words. Hi, Fu-Tu-Chan. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. Can I say Fu? It's easier. Hello, Fu. Where was I when the incident occurred? Ah, yes, the stage. Then, Rook and Knightley suddenly appeared and stood in front of me. After that, I heard a gunshot and a red balloon bursting. And so, those who attempted to escort me into the plane. But then, the second gunshot, the bullet pierced through Rook's body and struck my bulletproof vest. If that's the case, then the President's a victim too, right? It was an assassination attempt. Mr. Rook just happened to get caught up in it, unfortunately. But isn't it strange? Why would the victim want to interrupt the investigation? Of course, if this becomes public, it would cause problems. I see. There's still some deep, dark secret behind this case, right? Certainly the President and perhaps Knightley, too, know of the secret. Without fail, I shall reveal it for all to see. Where was I when the incident occurred? Ah, yes, the stage. Then Rook and Knightley suddenly appeared and stood in front of me. After that, I heard a gunshot and a red balloon bursting. A red balloon? What does he mean? Does he mean the Steel Samurai?
Hold it!
Yes, I did. I couldn't recall, really. I can't recall. But it was years ago, so I really don't recall where I found it. On a ROM hack site, I guess, somewhere. I believe it was the ISO of the game that was already patched or something like that, I think. It's not perfect, mind you, because some of the voice clips are not always playing for the right character, but yeah, I played that like, what, 2 years ago, I think? And I already had the patch from before that, so that's several years ago that I found that. Try my patience, Prosecutor. That was not my intention. I just want to make sure your recollections are reliable. There were balloons on both sides of the stage. Yeah, if you want to look it up, you should probably try to look up something on Google, like Baten Kaito's Undub ISO or something like that. I think with those keywords, you might be able to find it somewhere. I can't vouch for the old website to still exist, though, so it might not necessarily be the same place where I found it. Swelling red in the cloudy sky as laid out in the security plan. Security plans. Ah, the one from the bag. They stepped in front of me just before the balloon burst. Origin, it's okay, but Wing, what do you mean? The English dub, you mean? Yeah, actually, I tried an undubbed version of Origins, but it crashed my console when I tried to play it, so... I don't know if it was... Maybe it's meant to be used with an emulator, and it's not meant to work on a console. The undubbed version of Origins, but I couldn't get it to work anyway. Not on real hardware, anyway. But then, the second gunshot, the bullet pierced through Rook's body and struck my bulletproof vest. There doesn't seem to be anything out of place. Since he's also a victim, he wouldn't have a reason to lie, sir. So what he said should be nothing but the truth. On the contrary, there is one point that stands out to me as odd. Try to recall the state of the crime scene. Eh? Really? Show me the evidence. Perhaps I should review it one more time. The state of the crime scene? Does he mean this?
Objection!
A red balloon burst. I'm afraid that's not the case. What? Please have a look at this piece of evidence. Can you see what has burst? Roar! This is... What exactly? It's the Steel Samurai, warrior of Neo-Old Tokyo. You'd do well to remember it. If you wish to win the support of this nation's people. And don't forget the rival show, the Gemin Ninja. The balloon that was ruptured by the bullet was no ordinary red balloon. It was a Steel Samurai balloon. What does that change to his testimony, though? But according to the plans, there should have been 2 red balloons. It says so right here, in the security plan. It certainly looks like there are only 2 round balloons drawn here. Knightley, what is the meaning of this? Explain at once. Yes, sir. That Steel Samurai balloon was a last-minute replacement. Replacement? That's what we were told. Seems that information didn't make it to the president. We ran into a little trouble during setup last night. One of the balloons that we had prepared burst. So you scrambled to find the replacement? Exactly. We just happened to run into a guy manning a stand in the park. He said he'd lend us the Steel Samurai balloon. He was kind of a poser. A stand, a Steel Samurai balloon, and a poser. We pumped air into its red samurai pants to create a makeshift balloon. So the Steel Samurai balloon looks just like an ordinary red balloon. Uh-huh. Is that what you mean? Knightley! Why was I not informed of this? Sir, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't think it was important enough to report. Couldn't you tell by just looking at it? I did not notice it. So he mistook the Steel Samurai's pants for an ordinary balloon. Was there a reason why you made that mistake? Oh! What now? A moment, please. I just remembered now. I could not see the balloon very well. You couldn't see it? Exactly. At the time, the wind was strong. The flags on the stage were fluttering wildly and they obstructed my view. The flags? Did you not see the flags that were set up on both sides of the stage? Due to the strong wind, they were waving about, just like this. So a strong wind was blowing at the time of the incident. The flags were fluttering wildly. Is there a problem with that? Well, the wind was blowing in the other direction when the gunshot happened. So there is a problem. President Wong, you have my gratitude. Your testimony has helped uncover a new contradiction. A contradiction, you say? Yes, one that turns the very foundation of this case on its head. During my investigation, there was no wind at the crime scene, so the flags remained still. However, the flags were actually fluttering in the strong wind. This completely changes the meaning of that piece of evidence. This one, I think. The bullet's trajectory. The gunshot rang out during the president's speech. The bullet struck the balloon and also pierced through that national flag. I had previously deduced the bullet's trajectory using these facts. So the wind was, if the top of the picture is north, then that would be like south-southwest, I guess. The assassin fired the bullet from the left side of the audience area. However, if the flags were fluttering about like so, my reasoning changes. So he's not lying actually, but it simply changes the meaning of the piece of evidence. Since the flag's position has changed. Correct. The bullet's trajectory must also change. And if we trace the trajectory of the bullet, we can tell who fired the shot. So not someone who was on the left side in the audience. So that couldn't be the journalist. She didn't do it. I still don't understand why. However, it can be none other than him. By tracing the bullet's path, who was the person who fired the gun? It's Knightley, I guess? He fired it at the crowd. And it was not a shot that came from the audience, I guess. It's Knightley, isn't it? The person who shot the balloon was none other than you, Horace Knightley. What? Connect the bullet holes in the balloon and the flag, and the line points to you. Bullet's trajectory data updated in my organizer. Yeah, okay. But that guy is one of the president's bodyguards. Why would he have shot the steel samurai balloon, sir? Preposterous. I agree with the detective. There is no reason. Are you saying Knightley, who has saved my life on numerous occasions, is an assassin? Prosecutor Edgeworth, if I've had it up to here with you. My job is to protect the president. Knightley, control yourself. Sorry, sir. Prosecutor, indeed, the wind was strong during my speech. However, the wind's strength can change very quickly. Evidence. Show us evidence that the flag was flying at the moment of the gunshot. The gunshot occurred during the moment the president raised his fist to the sky. So it should show on the picture then. It's off camera on this one. But it shows on this one though. Yup, one of the pictures.
Take that!
The evidence is in this photo. Interesting. And where in this photo exactly? There to the right.
Take that!
Don't you see? The fluttering flag can be seen in this photo. No! There is no mistaking that the flags were flying at the moment of the incident. So then, it really was that guy who shot the balloon. That would mean Mr. Knightley is the assassin. Horace Knightley is. Well, still I don't think so. Yes, indeed, yeah, I was playing it in English. Yeah, I don't think you could patch a PAL French version with the undub, unfortunately. You would have to play it in English if you want it to work. The only thing he shot was a balloon. A balloon on the opposite side of the president. He wasn't aiming at the president. Why then? Why was it necessary for me to do a thing like that? Depending on your answer, I might take aim at your pretty little head. Why was it necessary? I presume the reason is connected to the one thing that's felt out of place. The one who shot the balloon was the president's bodyguard, Knightley. That fact will change the entire viewpoint of this case. Why was Knightley's position changed? Because I can't turn my head to the right. My position got changed to the president's left side. In other words, I was relocated to the right side of the stage. Was that really the only reason? Yeah, it seems that in Japanese, maybe the amount of boxes of dialogue for each character is not exactly the same. Sometimes they added extra boxes of dialogue to certain scenes, and so that kind of desyncs the voices and the text boxes. So sometimes it's a text box where Callus is talking, for example, but you hear Shella's voice instead. It doesn't happen often. It's just like maybe 2 or maybe 3 times in the game. So it's not bad, really. I mean, if you prefer Japanese voices overall, I think it's still a good option to play the game. But there is that to consider, I guess. Knightley can't turn his head to the right. Would he have been able to aim at the balloon on the left side of the stage? Perhaps the security plans were altered so that Knightley could shoot the balloon. If that's the case... What's this? The details of the security plans were changed? Yeah, that's right. It was changed yesterday. President's orders. Why? Security plans were changed on the President's order. Was this done so Knightley could shoot the balloon? Maybe this was all a setup after all, like I had first imagined. In other words, the president knew about the balloon being shot. He knew about the attempt on his own life. If you think about it that way, everything that's been out of place is beginning to add up. Why was the assassin able to get a gun past such tight security? Why was the assassin wearing a conspicuous red hood? Why did they use a laser sight that would so easily reveal their location? Why was the president so calm after being shot? This was the truth the president had and the subordinates tried to conceal. There can only be one reason why Knightley fired the gun. The entire assassination was a setup. I knew it! From the start, I knew it. How dare you? Do you seriously understand what you're implying with this? Of course I understand. In fact, now I understand everything. Mr. President, you wish to take the investigation. Okay, have a good one, Fu. You wished to take the investigation rights from me. That was also you could conceal the real truth. How dare you mock me with these spurious allegations? Mock you? That was not my intention. I simply used logic to uncover the truth, that is all. Knightley fired the first shot in order to rupture the balloon. Hearing the gunshot and the sound of the balloon bursting, the audience began to panic. This was followed by one more shot. Wait, one more shot? Yes, Knightley turned towards the balloon and pulled the trigger a second time. The second gunshot was also fired by Knightley, to create the illusion of the second shot hitting the president. So what about the bullet that hit the president's bulletproof vest? What if that bulletproof vest had been prepared in advance? What's the matter, Mr. President? Afraid of facing a little bullet? That's not true. I was definitely shot. If we examined the bullet in your vest, it would answer the question for us. Will we find Rook's blood on that bullet? But the person in the red hood who shot me is in that photo. Weren't you listening, Mr. President? From the bullet's trajectory, the one who fired the shot must have been Knightley. Then Nicole. She too was part of the president's plan. She was to bear the blame and become the false assassin. The red-hooded figure. Exactly. I don't know how much of the plan Miss Swift knew beforehand. I don't understand the reason for the setup, though. This is something that I still don't understand, even now. However, she didn't fire the gun. All she did was aim the laser pointer at the president's head. That's right! Once the crowd began to panic, you would turn your parka inside out. And thus, the red-hooded figure would vanish. After that, you discarded the gun and security plan in the trash. And the illusion of the assassin vanishing like a ghost was complete. And with the assassin gone, the case would go unsolved, pal. Yes, that was what he hoped for. That's why you wouldn't let Mr. Edgeworth investigate the case. Exactly. All of this was an assign and publicity stunt from a lying president. But you! Ah! What was that? What was that? What was that? So over the top. Oh, not so impressive looking now. Oops. You are wrong. He revealed his true form. The assassination is a lie, isn't it? Chief, why did he have to pick you? This should not have happened.
Objection!
Well played, Mr. Prosecutor. Knightley! I am speaking with the President now. Thank you very much. You're a chess player. You know knights always strive to protect their king. So shut up, now. Are you threatening me, Mr. Knightley? Ah, what's with this guy? Oops, sorry, I went over the top there, but on to business. As my first move, I want to ask you a question. You say I fired a gun on the stage, right? Then I should have been caught. The entire audience was watching me. I see. Now it's my move. You used a certain object to prevent the spectators from seeing you. A certain object? The attache case.
Take that!
The attache case? Exactly. I'd like you to, blah blah blah. Your right hand is completely hidden by the case. This photo captures the exact moment you secretly fired the gun. You used the attache case as a screen.
Objection!
You seem to enjoy making up convenient stories, Mr. Prosecutor, but you've missed something. What have I missed? That everything you've said is just a hypothesis, a theory. Flags flapping in the wind, using the case as a screen. The security plans were modified because I can't move my neck. You've got no decisive evidence. Yeah, it'd be great if you had the bullet that hit the balloon. But that bullet's probably at the bottom of the lake. Finding it would be real tough, right? I hate to admit it, but it's as he says, there's no decisive evidence. If there's no proof, the only thing you can do is shut up, so do so. Hold it! Miss Swift? That's it. If she speaks, we could hear her new testimony. Hey, lady, you had something to say? Never mind. There we go, I thought so. Nicole! Don't be afraid, the truth will escape if you let that man intimidate you. You're a reporter, a journalist. I will not remain silent. You'd better consider your position. Use your head before saying something you'll regret. I forgot the #1 rule of journalism. Journalists must not tell lies. You can't call it a scoop if it ain't the truth. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm sorry. I've been hiding this the whole time. This is a laser pointer. I used this laser pointer to aim at the president. That's all I did. I never fired the gun. You stupid woman! If you testify, you'll be admitting you're an accomplice. I don't care. I'm gonna tell him everything. 3 days ago, I was covering an event at the Zengfa embassy. Then some of the president's men called me over. They said if I cooperated, I'd get an exclusive interview with the president. And the gun in the trash. I really don't know. All I was told was to come wearing a red hood and to aim the laser pointer. I never thought it would snowball into all of this. I'm really truly sorry. Nicole, thank you. That was a testimony worthy of the courtroom. This is sufficient testimony to verify the fake assassination plot. Damn you, the lot of you. You're all a bunch of mindless morons. It's a shame. If only you had been able to reserve the investigation as planned. You would have been able to silence this young lady. Blast! So tomorrow's headlines now read, fake assassination plan exposed, becomes a murder. Right? I can't believe that you'd do something this horrible, pal. I admit nothing. Hold it. The president. Knightley, that's enough. We have no choice but to admit it. So, Mr. President, you admit that you planned the fake assassination? Yes, I admit it. I'm sorry. But why? Why did you have to do this? My approval ratings in Zengfa have fallen. I wanted to appeal to them as a strong president who survived an assassination. So that was the reason. It wasn't something too complicated after all. But in the end, it was just a lie, a stupid lie. And the bullets in the bulletproof vest, prepared earlier, it was not fired today. But what about Mr. the Killer? It seems our plan was leaked. Someone wanted to make this fake assassination real. That's why the killer wore the red raincoat. He would impersonate the culprit from the plan in order to approach the president. But there's still one thing I don't understand. What's that? Why did Rook die? His death was not a part of this charade, and yet it really happened. Yes, why was his life taken? Ethan was an outstanding bodyguard. Even though he wasn't from my country, he had my utmost trust. I wouldn't think that having the trust of a cowardly president meant that much, honestly. Hey, that's the same sort of bond between me and Mr. Edgeworth, pal. I wouldn't put it that way. Did Rook know of your plan? Not the exact details. I asked him to cooperate, and he refused. You should have listened to his advice. Yes, indeed. I wouldn't have done all this if I had known. You're being too dramatic. What? Rook was just one piece of the president's defense. Knightley. And it's not as if he cooperated with your plan. I did. He ran away, taking whatever dignity he had left with him. Good riddance. I know you're a valuable bodyguard, but still. I don't have time for this, sir. I'm the team leader now. There's going to be a lot of changes now that the chicken's gone. After all, adaptation is the most important principle in chess. I knew you always wanted to be the team leader, but isn't this a bit imprudent? Hehehe, I will orchestrate even more perfect plans, just like this one. You definitely have ambition, but wasn't your perfect plan today a failure? If it weren't for you and that idiot Rook, it would have been perfect. What did Rook do? If he hadn't died, the killer wouldn't have threatened me. And you would have never set foot in this plane. Knightley, how can you say such a thing? Yeah, he died trying to save you, Mr. President. Maybe he fulfilled his lifelong ambition. He died protecting the president? Huh? But the assassination was fake, right? Of course it was, but you need to listen closer, little girl. Remember the guy who wanted to make the fake assassination real? There were 2 gunshots at the time of the incident. The first was, as he said, I shot the balloon. But the second one wasn't me. So who fired the second gunshot? The real assassin. But it wasn't the killer. He intended to attack the president with a knife, not a gun. The lucky winner was the hidden queen. Or should I say the lady in the coat over there? You're accusing Nicole, pal? I ain't no assassin. Really? I don't believe you. The gun that was left in the trash. That was yours, right? I'm running out of time. I shot the balloon and entered the plane with Rook and the president. Rook waited in the cabin while I led the president into the security room. When I came out, Rook was already on the ground. The bullet that lady fired must have hit him while we escorted the president to the plane. The shot was fired from the gun you found in the trash. So you're saying you don't know exactly when the victim was shot, and Knight's job isn't to protect the Rook. It's to protect the king. Huh? What he's trying to say is that his job was to protect the president only. It's over if you lose the king. Checkmate. That's the first rule of chess. If you let your pieces get taken right in front of you, you're not likely to win. But I did win. Look, the president is safe. Don't claim victory when the game has only just begun. Let me save, because I haven't done so in a while. Shot the balloon and entered the plane with Rook and the president. Rook waited in the cabin while I led the president into the security room. When I came out, Rook was already on the ground. But 2 shots were fired from the one found in the trash. Should I press on this one maybe? He says one shot. Weren't you both carrying bulletproof attache cases? Yeah, when Rook noticed the laser pointer, we opened up those bad boys and became the president's shield. You're telling me the bullet slipped through the space between your shields? Are you claiming that Miss Swift has such precise aim? While she was targeting the president, I wouldn't say her aim is precise at all. So the bullet was off target and just happened to hit the victim instead? Through the tiny gap between this bulletproof vest and case? I don't want to believe it either, but they say the truth is stranger than fiction. Rook was hit by a 1 in a million shot, and you have the evidence to prove it. But 2 shots were fired with it. So you shot the balloon and Miss Swift shot Rook. Is that really true? I can't see it any other way. The gun we discovered in the trash was fired twice. The number of gunshots don't add up. Why don't the gunshots add up? It's simple. This gun is fake evidence. It's left behind by the real criminal. Fake evidence? Think about it. The criminal planted this for a reason. By finding the gun, we'd assume that the assassin was in the audience, in order to make us believe that the gun was used by the assassin. The gun needed to appear as if it had been fired twice. I get it, because 2 shots were fired during the incident. However, we proved that the bullet that hit the balloon did not come from this gun. Therefore, I have my doubts as to whether this gun also took Rook's life. Hehe, here it comes. You're packing some serious heat. Enough with the song and dance. You've come this far. Go ahead and say it. I won't just say it, I'll prove it. The one who really shot Rook is you.
Take that!
Horace Knight, you murdered Rook. Heh, you finally said it. Knight, you couldn't have. The killer wasn't the only one who took advantage of the fake assassination plot. You intended to murder Rook and claim he was a victim of the assassination. Once the president had entered the security room and the door to the plane was closed, only the victim and Knightley would have been left in this room. And at that moment, you fired a 3rd bullet directly at Rook. You wanted his place, after all. A 3rd bullet. Ha! Only 2 gunshots were heard. The numbers don't match up. The plane's walls are soundproof. If the door was closed, the gunshot would not have been heard outside. But was it the president in the next room? That's true. The president may have heard the gunshot. Mr. President, did you hear a gunshot? I didn't hear any gunshots. But weren't you watching this room through the security cameras? The cameras in this room aren't usually turned on. I turned on the power after I entered the security room. So you didn't turn on the power immediately after entering the room? What about the thing that was on the shelf, like his precious plush toy or something like that that had glass broken around it? He's not being clear, Mr. President. Focus, this is vital. Please! I was hiding under the bed, covering my ears. What? But you knew the assassination was fake. It doesn't matter. I simply hate the sound of guns. That terrifying sound. I just can't help it. That definitely ain't going in my article. Knightley, you saw the president hiding under the bed. Furthermore, you could tell if the security cameras had been turned on by looking at the monitors. In that moment, when the president wouldn't hear the gunshot or see the room, you had a chance to fire a 3rd bullet at Rook. Knightley, did you really? You deceived me. You really think I killed that moron? That's cold, Mr. President. Have a little faith in me, the bodyguard who's risking his life to protect you. I want to believe you, I really do, but I just don't get it. Why are you suspecting me alone? There's still the possibility that she's the killer. This gun is not the murder weapon. The number of missing bullets make that clear. Maybe it was 1 short to begin with. Ever think of that? What? Maybe it already fired a shot yesterday or the day before, and the 2nd shot was fired today, the one that hit Rook. What, isn't that just a perfect excuse? Excuse? The possibility exists. You can't deny that. He's right, I can't deny it completely. You need decisive evidence. Evidence so decisive that it makes my heart stop and my logic crumble. You got something like that? Mr. Edgeworth, can't you do anything? At this rate, Nicole will. Mr. Prosecutor, it's true, I did an awful thing for a scoop, but I never killed nobody. I could never do a thing like that. Decisive evidence. If I could prove the murder weapon was Knightley's gun, proof it was his gun. It'd be great if you had the bullet that hit the balloon. Then you could examine it and see if the ballistic markings match my gun. If we can find the bullet that took Rook's life, we can determine which gun fired the shot from the ballistic markings. If you got no evidence, I have an idea of where that bullet is. Hold it. What? You don't seriously have decisive evidence? Naturally. That's a big joke. Well, come on now, show us. What is this so-called evidence? But I don't have it in my organizer if it is what I think it is. Not in my organizer, I don't. Or maybe I do. Hold on. Not this one. One monitor is missing. Yeah, because what I had in mind is that the bullet is maybe in that camera. That's not working. I have the bullets right here. Somewhere. If the cannery doesn't sling, just shoot it, or so the saying goes, just as I had hoped. I'm gonna blast a hole in ya, right in your chest. Okay, well, I don't have the bullet, but I have something to prove where it is. I don't have it. Okay, it's game over, man. However, it is somewhere in this room. What? The bullet that killed Rook pierced through his body, so where did the bullet go? Earlier, you explained it like this. The bullet that took Rook's life pierced through his body and then hit the vest. That's right. It'd be dangerous if he hadn't worn that bulletproof vest. However, now that the fake assassination plan has come to light, we know that the bullet was already in it. So then where did the bullet go? Interesting. Very interesting. Do you have the answer? I do. I have evidence that shows the location. It broke the camera. In this room, there is one thing that's clearly missing. Something missing? You sure it's not your brain? I'd like you to look at the rack of security monitors. Ah, it seems you've noticed, Mr. President. Among these images of the plane's surroundings, only the feed from the right side of the plane is absent. That's what's missing. A single monitor. Mr. President, there was originally a monitor here, wasn't there? That's right. Why is there a stuffed toy now? That must have been put there to hide the empty space where the monitor used to be. Why is the monitor missing and where did it go? Oh! The thing is in there? The toy is in the monitor? I thought it was shown on a camera or something. I thought that it was the non-working monitor that only shows static. Why? Undoubtedly because it was hit by the bullet, in order to make us think that the bullet really hit the bulletproof vest. It would be a problem if another bullet hole was discovered. So then, where did the monitor go? Where? It should be hidden somewhere inside this plane. There hasn't been a chance to dispose of it outside since it was shot. Detective Gumshoe, search this plane. Roger that, sir. President Wang, you said extraterritorial laws apply to this plane. I will allow it. There is no problem. I just want to know the truth of Rook's death. Damn it, you think this is a joke? You're always like this. Rook this, Rook that. Detective, we have his approval. Go ahead. I should have already stopped streaming, actually, but it's the end of the affair, so of the case. Mr. Edgeworth, I found it, sir. Good work, detective. Now let's extract the bullet from the monitor. If I do this here and then do that, I got it. But it's definitely stained with blood. I'm certain this is the bullet that killed Rook. This is the bullet that will crush your arguments, the decisive evidence that blows a hole in your logic. If the ballistic markings on this bullet do not match the gun found in the audience area, Miss Swift will be cleared of suspicion. What's wrong? Cat got your tongue? Detective, we need to examine the ballistic markings. Send the gun and bullet to forensics. Yeah, okay, we should be able to find clear markings, and then he comes back, and I guess, yeah, we have proof. First, the blood on this bullet matches the victim's blood. so this bullet really did take Rook's life. Also, Horace Knightley's fingerprints were found on this gun. Knightley's fingerprints probably came from when he took all of our evidence. The real issue is the ballistic markings. If the markings don't match, Miss Swift will be cleared of suspicion. And the bullet's ballistic markings match this gun. What? They match? No way! There's no mistake. The bullet was fired from this gun. What? That's strange. Looks like I was right after all. I have to stop streaming here. I thought it was gonna be over, but I guess it keeps going for a little while, and unfortunately I'm running out of time. So I will be finishing this case tomorrow then, and we'll be continuing and play the second case anyway. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow. I really have to go now, unfortunately, so please stay tuned. Well, I mean stay tuned. Please come back tomorrow then if you want to see the next part. So thanks for watching. See ya. Take care.